Good evening and welcome in, guys. Dirt Ripper here, and hey, I saw that level 3 membership, Dirt Ripper. I really appreciate that, starting off the stream strong. Higbald Farms first in. Alan O, Heidi Ho, Heidi Ho. We are off to farming we go. I agree. It's time for some more farm sim, guys. Hope you're all doing really well tonight. Looks like we've got 7 or 8 people in for the stream to start, which is great. So if you're here and want to say hi and chat, by all means, feel free. If you want to hang out and you want to lurk and just watch and relax and be at the end of your day, that works too. So whatever works for you guys. Mike, got my work clothes on, ready to go all night, BP. Mike is in. Andrew Brown, good evening, guys. Hey, we got some good things on the stream tonight, so I'm excited. Andrew, I am doing well. It was a good day. I got an episode for the Homestead Challenge recorded, and I've been waiting for a week to get a quick update out to you guys on the realistic livestock mod from Arrow, and we're going to try to get into some of that stuff tonight. The update from last week, the 1.2.0.2 update, is it's a thing of beauty. I mean, what he's doing for the game is incredible. So if you haven't checked out that video, feel free. It's a quick 10 minutes, just running through the menu, showing you guys what the new features are. We're going to get into some of that tonight, so I am excited. So let's jump in and talk about where we left off and where we're going tonight. So when we wrapped up last night, 23 on the iPad, Andrew. That's cool. Very good. Very good. I tried the mobile stuff. I don't know. I'm either too old for it or my hands are too big or something. The mobile stuff, I just can't get into. I was excited. I downloaded it all. I was all ready to go. And I think it took me like 3 hours to harvest that starting wheat field on the base map. And I was like, this is not for me. So we ended last episode starting to get some farmyard stuff built up and starting to try to get organized. So we have these 2 sheds. I came in between episodes. I didn't really do any work on the actual farm, but I got a huge auto drive network put in. So I got all the parking spots put in, all the pathing put in. So everything under there has a dedicated parking spot. We have spots 4 and 5 are open. So when we get in parking spot 3, I guess, so it's 3, 4, and 5 are open. And when we get more implements, we can put them in there. So excited to have that done. Did some work. I'm going to leave the auto drive up for you guys for just a minute. But I did put in 1 additional shed over here. I'll show you guys for the big equipment. I think it was it Rob? I think it was Rob wanted to do some bailing on auto drive. We're talking about why you save on Courseplay, why we save the courses on Courseplay. So we did some bailing. I got all these straw bales baled up and off of that barley field all the way down the road. So they're here. We're going to have to figure something out to do with those. I put in another shed over here. This is one of my favorite sheds for doing auto drive stuff. You can see I did a couple of trees here on the outside, give it a little landscaping. We're going to continue building out the farmyard and landscaping as we go. But got the big stuff in the shed or under the shelter here. I'll show you guys real quick. First time I go into the store menu is always slow on this game save. I don't know what that is, but we're getting there. So under construction, under sheds, this is the $152,500 solar shed base game. This thing works really, really well for auto drive stuff. Lots of straight angles, you come straight through it. Good roof height, works really well. So all of those implements have been given parking spots in there. And as an example, I'll show you guys. Let's see, get that turned off. What I did for like our 9RT, which is going to be our dedicated planting rig. If you look in the top left corner under the help menu, Dirt Ripper, what sim controls you recommend? I'm getting into a setup to play around with weather. Weather is too rough to snuff. Sim controls, you talking about for the joystick, or are you talking about just game settings? Let me know. I'm happy to answer the question. Just want to make sure I'm getting on the right topic. So if you look in the top left corner, we have the tractor selected, and we have the ability to park it. If you look down in the bottom right-hand corner, the P is filled in for parking. If I switch to the implement, to the planter, the P is still whited out in the auto drive menu in the bottom right corner. So both of those implements will go to this parking spot. So no matter what we're on, it'll go through. And I just hit G again. I'm now on the invisible roller on the back of the planter. And all three of those implements, we set the parking spot to this location. So when we're done with work, we just hit the park button on auto drive. Oh, sticks and pedals? Yeah, okay. Excellent. I'll get right to that, Dirt Ripper. So if you get all three implements to the same parking spot, no matter where we are at the end of the field, you hit park, it drives back, and it parks. So that is really good news. So Dirt Ripper, I have the G9. I always get this wrong. I always say 920. I think it's the 912. I have the Logitech wheel and pedals that are compatible with PC and Xbox. So my whole setup, obviously keyboard, I have the pedals and the steering wheel and a Thrustmaster Farmstick. So my steering wheel is set up purely for driving purposes. So obviously the steering wheel does the steering. I have the D-pad, the up, down, left, right, set to different lights. So like if I hit up on the D-pad, I'm cycling through my lights. And down on the D-pad, I'll cycle back through my lights. So we'll zoom in here. So like I can cycle down, I can cycle up. And if I keep going up, it goes all the way around the corner and turns everything off. I have the LSB and the RSB bumper buttons set to the turn signals. So there's the left turn signal. Here is the right turn signal. I have the two menu buttons set to the menu. So the right side, which is typically the traditional menu, goes here. And the left side goes to the shop, just like it would on an Xbox controller. And then, latency is gone. Excellent. Excellent. So we're on super low latency, or ultra low, whatever it is, for the stream. Mike, thank you for reminding. Joseph, welcome in, and thank you so much for the membership. We got Dirt Ripper and Joseph in right off the bat on the stream, guys, getting their memberships in. I really appreciate the support. Means a lot to me. I really, really appreciate it. So then I have my B button set up for beacon lights, which obviously this truck doesn't have. And then I'm trying to remember what I did with the A, X, and Y buttons. I don't even think I have those programmed, but that's what I have set up on my steering wheel. Obviously the pedals, right is accelerator, middle is brake. I don't use the left one. I have debated picking up some kind of shifter and potentially getting into like manual transmission driving in Farm Sim, so we'll have to see how that goes. And then I have all of my implement controls mapped to my Farm Stick, so the steering wheel is just literally driving like your car, basically. So as you guys can see, had a couple of comments. People thought I hired a drunk road paving crew when we put this road in last night. Or yeah, it was last night. It was Sunday night or Sunday afternoon. So I came back and cleaned this up so we don't have any quality road paving issues. We're all cleaned up here. I did bring the Bednar MPC, the mulcher, plow, and cultivator down here and just cleaned up the barley field. Wanted to get that ready for planting, so we are good to go. Joseph, really liked the realistic livestock update video. Hey, we're going to get into some of that stuff tonight. I was finally able to get into an episode of the Homestead Challenge today. I was doing my recording for that and was able to get that mod in and working. It was working fine. It wasn't a mod issue. I was loading older versions. I have all of my game saves have their individual mod folders, and I kept putting in the wrong version of the realistic livestock update, the 1.2.0.2, and it takes, for me, it took going overnight for that mod to catch up and actually the new features to show up. So I just couldn't get into it, and I finally did today, and that is just an incredible update to that mod. That is, I mean, that mod was groundbreaking in its first iteration, and the update, I mean, I can't see Giants not doing something to bring those features into the game at a more base level for the next iteration of Farmstick, because in my opinion, it's just changing the way the game is played and is answering the call for better and more immersive husbandry that a lot of us have been asking for and looking for. Yeah, Joseph, I saw your comment on YouTube too. 100 plus cattle, I agree. When you get to 100 plus cattle, you definitely get into management, whether it's cattle or sheep or goats, it really doesn't matter. I don't know if you saw my reply on YouTube or not yet, but the Realistic Cattle Ranch series, we're about 300 head of cattle. I'm running a breeding barn, a birthing barn, a bull pen, a float pen, and then 8 calf huts. And that it takes a while to get in when you get into that series. It's probably towards the end of the year 2 supercut, getting into year 3, that all that stuff gets set up, because it's pretty slow to get started because we started from scratch. But I have a couple of times in that series done like the morning routine, which is where I get up, I feed the cows, I rotate the cows, I use the herdsman stick, and I go through and we pull all my cows in my freezer. Higball, that's a good place for a cow to be. I hope there are some tenderloin steaks in there for you. I hope there's some ribeyes. Hope there's some strips. We've bought a half and a cow and a whole cow before and got it in the old chest freezer, and that is good eating. But Joseph, yeah, there's a couple of episodes where I go through the morning routine of rotating the cows. I get up, and certainly as you're getting up into the 30s on the episodes, you'll see where we get into a pretty good routine. We know what age animals we want to pull out and switch pens and all that kind of stuff. So definitely check out those videos. But hey, by all means, keep asking questions. I'm happy to talk about it more. And, jump in the Discord, because we have a lot of discussion going on about the playthroughs and mods and that kind of stuff. And lots of people with lots of good information and experience as well. Okay, let's see. What is your favorite small grain harvester header combo? That is a good question. I'm a fan of the base game. Is it base game? The really small Massey Ferguson puts a really nice one together. 8250. That may be the one I'm thinking of. And then is it the TARDIS pack? I think it's the TARDIS pack has a really small, like, lizard branded one that's cool as well. I'll go back and watching the Homestead Challenge. Yeah, I mean, Joseph, take your time, but if you want cattle management, the Realistic Cattle Ranch series is going to get you where you want to be. So, back to Backroads County, and have 3 other quick things to go over with you guys. I did grab 3 contracts overnight. We are going to get these collected. I didn't want to leave them uncollected, but then we're going to go to sleep and we'll wake up next month and get to work. I do want to get one more thing done before we go to bed, but we had cultivating on field 48, which we did with the MPC. That's from Ben, because Ben's got a couple of pieces of property nearby that we may want to buy. I did the mowing on field 78, which resulted in 1.6 million liters of grass. And I'll show you guys, super cool. The Krone Big M500, I took it to the shop and I got the PTO and hitch put on it, and it pulled the Pottinger forage wagon with the windrower behind it for the entire contract and picked up all that grass. So I set it on course play, went down there, drove it down, put it on course play, and it harvested that or mowed that entire field. And because we're running better contracts and boosted contracts, it picked up all the grass and we were able to keep it. So we have, I think, 3 million plus liters of grass in the silo. Yeah, 3,064,000 liters of grass because of that contract and that combo. So if you're doing big field work, and I know like Roderick was in here the other night when we were talking about the Dakota 16X map, and some of the fields on the outside of that map are like 300 acres. You can get 5 million liters of grass off those with that kind of setup really, really easy. And then the last one was we just did a plowing contract because it was worth $108,864, and we were down that way anyways. So we have 3 contracts to complete. We are starting off before that with $458,000. I did sell the Colossus header because we got the new MacDon one that works with the retriever trailer better, and it's a wider cutting path. So that got sold. I feel like I sold one other thing. Did I sell the Krone Cargo X? We'll have to see. No, I didn't sell the Auger Wag. I didn't sell the Krone Cargo yet. I'm still debating whether I want to keep that or not. So let's collect those contracts and get some money. So we're at 458. And this is going to help keep our funds up. $655,000. We're going to put a quick project down before we go to bed. We need to get some money made on the farm here. Let's see. That hitch and PTO just sold me on that Krone mod. Love combining multiple jobs. Yeah, Mike, that one is a great combo. I like that one a lot. If you guys are on console and you want to do that kind of thing, obviously you don't have Courseplay. The, what's it called? The Schnuffle is a dolly that hooks to the back of anything. It's a wheel dolly, but it has a PTO on it. And you can hook that Schnuffle dolly to the back of your mower without all of this craziness, just to the hitch, and then put your forage wagon behind that or your baler, and your mower will pull that all the way around and get everything picked up too. So if you're on console, look that up. That's an FS22 mod. I believe it's been converted for FS25, but don't quote me on that. So what's your thoughts on the JD S660 with a 30-foot Draper header? That's a nice setup. I have to say, I avoid John Deere equipment, not because I dislike it, because I feel like it's really overplayed. The small to mid-size John Deere harvesters are by far the best in the game. The most options, the most really high quality mods, the good options for size. You've got the European version, the American version, the South American version. Some of them come with, the Brazil version. So you get lots of options, and there are a lot in there that have like the IC controls, the side panels open. There's a lot like the panels open, the ladders drop down. Those are some really good info, or really good mods in there. So we need to get to making some money. So we've got a sort of a 2-part plan here. The first step, so we can get to bed and get on to the next month, is we're going to drop some greenhouses, and I've got a couple of good ones in here. We have our base game greenhouses, and I tend to stick to 2 different types of greenhouses. There's the boosted greenhouses, which is ones we're going to use on this playthrough. And then there's Gaming Joy's, I forget the name, upgraded greenhouses, basically the same name, a little bit different. But these ones do more stuff than the base game. So your base game ones, you come in here, you've got your chilies, your garlic, your lettuce, your Napa cabbage, strawberries, garlic, and tomatoes. And the upgraded ones, I may have dropped the wrong mod in here. I was hoping we'd get some other stuff going here, get the grain crops going, but that mod is not, it didn't show up. Huh. Oh well, we'll use the boosted ones. These are Gaming Joy's boosted warehouses. These are very nice. All the Gaming Joy stuff is really cool. These ones, I don't know why, are not available on his GitHub page. I double checked that today when I was checking everything out. So let's jump in here. Let's get everything set up. I do want to come in before we drop these. One of my least favorite things is having greenhouses that are not level. Is having them where they have little bumps between them, and then you're trying to go pick stuff up and drop off water, and it's making a mess, and I just don't like that. So we're going to level out the ground, get everything nice and squared up, jump back into our greenhouses, and we're going to use the glass. They're most expensive. The interesting thing about the Gaming Joy pack, so you can tell it's a Gaming Joy pack because they're $1 more expensive than the base game ones, but the same look. So this one's $3,000. The Gaming Joy one is $3,001. The size of the greenhouse matters for the Gaming Joy mods, not the type. So the glass one does not produce more. The large glass one does not produce more than the large hoop one like this. I just like the glass ones, and since we're not really playing for a lot of money, it doesn't matter very much. What we do want to do is get the spawn point dropped on the correct side. So you hit F for customize. We're in here. The pallet spawn is on the right side, which is where the water barrel is on that right edge. We're looking at it from the front. Hey, Jay's in. I'm playing Dakota 16X mowing contracts. I could use dev tools to finish. Let's let it run. Yeah, you probably got an hour to watch if you're trying to get that field mode. But I want to put the pallet spawn on the left side. I like putting my pallet spawns together in the middle so that they can have a slight overlap and go from there. So we'll place that one. Then we'll come back in. We'll switch the pallet spawn back to the right side. And then we'll place this one. What's nice is that the water barrel in front doesn't change positions. Feel like we want to be right there. Then we're going to go back and do another left one so that they're between again. And we'll grab that one right there. And then one more for the right side. Right in here. Get them in nice and as tight as possible. Perfect. That worked out really, really well. So if you're not familiar with these, come over here. I'll show you guys. Look just like the regular greenhouses, but we have spawn points in between. And when you come in to the greenhouse, and I gotta figure out which one this one is. Where did it go? Oh, this is the other one I'm thinking of. The other one has little bollards that pop up and block the spawn. This one, you actually come in and you can change it in the menu. So let's come back to the construction menu. I like to rename these just so I know which one I'm starting with. That way when I'm in the menu, it's easy to tell. I think if we can just get over here, get these renamed. Let's see. Trying to recreate my grandpa's farm on here. He was a JD guy. I personally am a case guy, but I'm not telling him that. Sometimes that's the best way with family. Don't have arguments you don't want to have and you can't win anyways. It's been 3 so far. Oh, for the mowing, yep. They're all great when they work, all junk when they're broke. Yeah, well, that is absolutely true. So I feel about pickup trucks. I don't really care anymore. I used to be a Chevy guy, got a Dodge now. But as long as it runs and gets down the road, I don't really care. I just don't want to be in the shop anymore. Have you ever tried playing FS23 on iPad? It's a lot better than on the phone. Andrew, I believe that. No, I played on my phone, which, you know, obviously was not the right choice. My iPad is basically, it was mounted to my desk for the sim dashboard stuff. So wasn't able to carry it around. So maybe I'll have to give that a try. Do you use the automatic watering mod, BP? Good question. Depends on the playthrough. Like this one, probably we will, just to get through. Because we're going to end up with a lot of things that need water. I've got automatic watering on the T5 series. I've got, because I put in that mod with the windmill for the Homestead Challenge and the Realistic Cattle Ranch series. Those both have manual water. So yeah, I mean it's a mix. Doesn't really matter to me. We have our greenhouses. You can see these ones come with free automatic watering you can turn on. We are, just for at least overnight, going to get those turned on because we don't have a water tank and a place to put it. And this is just literally to get us a little bit of money heading in. The greenhouse one, let's make some chilies. And we're going to set those to selling. Greenhouse 2, let's make some lettuce, set that to selling. Greenhouse 3, let's do some Napa cabbage, set that to selling. And greenhouse 4, we're going to do tomatoes and set that to selling. So we can just get going overnight. Now we can get time started. We're all caught up. So let's head in. Let's go to bed. Let's wake up in October and a new day. And the greenhouses will have done some work for us overnight. I worked for New Holland, and Scott worked for Case, so we can order parts and have access to parts to look up on the tablet. Probably the only reason the farm I'm at is mostly red. Yeah, if you can get the parts, you can keep stuff moving. But better luck getting red parts and green parts immediately. Yeah, I have no experience with farming, guys, at all. It's all virtual. But I have heard there seems to be a lot of people they're disgruntled with JD right now. I don't know what that's about. Above my pay grade and not really my subject of expertise, but you know, it seems like what I hear is that a lot of people enjoyed working on their equipment and that may have been taken away from them. So that is challenging. All right, so heading into October, we are here. Our loan payment, $35,620, $14,000 in interest. Made a little bit of money on our solar panels overnight, and $433,000. What is the plan for today? Let's jump into our crop calendar and see what we need to get planted, because we have a couple options. We can plant barley, we can plant canola. I'd like to make the field down at the end by the home farm for the map corn, which obviously is not going to go into the ground now. But one option I was thinking about, I think it's too early. We could buy this for $213,000 and get both fields and the farmland and sell all the buildings and just wipe that farm out and turn that into a huge field on the end. So you guys in chat, I'll put it to a vote. So I'll let you guys just sort of chime in. We're not going to do a poll or anything. So farmland 62 is the home farm, field 143 and field 103. If we buy farmland 62, I would sell all the buildings on it. The cow barn, the sheds, the barns, everything. We're probably going to make some money on that deal selling those buildings. And then we would plow it all up and make a big field on the end. If you think we should do that, let me know. If you think it's like too much, we're just selling the buildings and we're doing all that stuff, I don't care either way. But let you guys be interactive here. Should we buy field or farmland 62? I'll show you guys real quick. Oh, don't buy it yet. Let's visit big field. Let's go. So here it is. I guess we'd have to get cow transport, because holy hell, guys. I didn't realize there are cows here and a lot of them. So we'd sell the cow barn, all these sheds, all the tanks, all the lights, all the buildings, and we would plow all of this up. I don't know if we can get rid of the farmhouse. Maybe we have to keep the farmhouse, but we could certainly plow around that, get the fence removed, everything else. So, all right, Mike says go for it. Higbald says go for it. Let's see, what did I miss here? I wish our farm bank account looked like in-game. Yeah, well, I wish my bank account looked like in-game too, don't we all? But hey, that's why we play games, because it's easier than dealing with reality sometimes. Yeah, Dirt Rippers from southern Missouri, and then Higbald's from up north in Canada. They were comparing crop calendars earlier in the pre-stream chat. So let's go bigger. Bigger is better. All right. Like I say, go big or go home. So here we are. We have the funds. We're buying the farm. I keep hitting visit when I want to buy and buy when I want to visit. Buy it all. We got a 15% discount because I did those contracts, guys. See, contracts pay off. And we are good to go. Let's jump into the construction menu and let's start selling stuff. So we are done here. Selling that 25K. Selling the sheds. Another 20K. sell that. Another 25, another 20K. Got a fuel tank we need to drop. Someone remind me when we get back to the farm at some point. We're doing some farmyard stuff. Got a dumpster here, $100. That's great. Waste management, come by and get your dumpster, please. Remind me when we go back to the farm, I need to place a fuel tank. Man, oh man, we got $10 water barrels laying around. We're having like a garage sale here, guys. We're getting rid of everything one piece at a time. I thought we'd be doing just buildings. We got to get to these lights. All right. Making money slowly but surely. Let's see what else we got. And I'm going to have to pick up some sort of cattle transport to deal with all those cows. Don't forget you need a fuel tank. Big Ball, you're my kind of guy. I like it. Now you can't say you didn't remind me, right? I can't say you didn't remind me, so if I forget, it's on me again. That is good. I like that. All right. Oh, and guys, if you're not part of the Discord, feel free to join. We got a great community over there. It's a lot of fun. But I did spend a little bit of time this afternoon getting the mod list for this playthrough uploaded. So it is in Discord. I created a channel for the live stream on Backroads County, and you can go access a Google Doc mod list there if you'd like. So if you're looking for links and that kind of stuff, I'm pretty sure I got every single mod on here. I put some mods in and then went and did it to try to make sure everything was in there to go. So if you're interested, that's all available on Discord. And at this point, I have 555 Homestead and the live stream mod list done. I need to get the Realistic Cattle Ranch done, but I haven't recorded on that one in a couple of weeks, so I don't run it until I get the mods in the game. Because then someone very, very nicely pointed out that there is a... Can we sell the house? We can sell the house, guys. $235,000. The Farm Sim Assistant mod or app, which is a great help with all kinds of things, Farm Sim, but it will pull a CSV file from your mod list and get you all of the... If it's a base game mod, it will pull it for you. All right, we're going to have a couple things here that may require some creative removal. Let's see what we get to. Okay, it'd be cool if it let you move buildings, could utilize those sheds on the home fire. So there is a move mod, and it worked really well when Farm Sim 25 came out, and then had some issues with one of the... you know, let me delete that. Had some issues with one of the patches early on, and I've heard some people talking about it. Yep, let's sell light pole. Love that. Talking about the move mod, and there's something you have to go in and like physically change the coding on either the game save or the mod or something, and it just got to the point where it was too complicated for me to keep up with it. But the move mod was a huge success when Farm Sim 25 first came out, because you could place things, and then if you wanted to, like, oh, like the driveway doesn't line up, or, you know, this doesn't work or that doesn't work, you could go back in and tweak that kind of stuff, and it worked really, really well. All right, here's a question. When you make custom fields, you prefer to make rounded edges or squared? I try to make my fields perfect edges all the way around. Yeah, Jay, I'm with you on that. I had a Farm Sim 22 save on No Man's Land that had every single field was perfect. Every single edge was square. Every corner was square. And then I started having struggles with course play, and I started rounding my corners. So at this point, it's about speed and efficiency. So I tend to round them, but my OCD prefers square. Oh, are you messing with the cattle farm? Square in real life, a game is more fun rounded. Yep. Yeah, we're getting rid of the cattle farm down here. Those fences can be deleted. Can't be deleted, just FYI. Yeah, I got a trick for that. Let's see what the fences, how they're put into the map. Let's see what this does. Is it gonna let me do it? May not. Let's see. Yeah. They may not let me delete it. You gotta find the trigger point, and it may be just randomly around. Don't forget that fuel tank. You guys got some jokes tonight, don't you? Okay, I used that. It was a great mod for management. I mainly worked beans and corn, but I've been thinking about going to cereal grains next year. Very cool. We don't rotate. We rotate beans and corn here. 1,300 acres, give or take, of each in a year. Wow, you guys are doing some big farming out there. The high doesn't work either. Yeah, Jay knows what I'm trying to do. Well, we're going to have to work around these fences. We'll figure something else out down here. Maybe we'll make this into a big yard of some kind. But let's check and see how many animals we just inherited, because I wasn't doing cows on this playthrough, but it sure seems like we just picked up a whole bunch of cows. 50 cows. All right, so we need to grab an animal transport trailer, something with a capacity that's going to make a little bit of sense here. Here we are. I only have 850 crop acres. Guys, I mean, that sounds absolutely enormous to me. But if you guys think 850 acres is small, I'll take your word for it. 7 minutes to mow the push mower. Hey, mowing grass, residential grass, is no fun. Give me a riding mower in a big field and I'll work all day, but working, just cutting grass for the sake of cutting grass is not fun. All right, let's send this guy down to the shop. We'll catch up with him when he's down there. We'll grab a trailer. While he's doing that, I do want to put a pig barn in, because we said we'd do pigs, and I want to get going on that today. So looked at a couple of different pig barns. We got some base game stuff. Man, a bunch of mods did not load in, guys. That is bizarre. Well, did it load in somewhere else? Nope, we got that one. We got those ones. We got the giant chicken coop that I like. Yeah, we don't do bees. Bees are broken, and they're just dumb at this point. All right, well, we'll put in this one. Not a big deal. So I'm imagining we're going to sort of create the greenhouse area over here. Oh, one of those is producing something there. What do we have pallets of? Water? Did we turn the water on distributing? Or is it just putting water in? Well, we'll have to figure it out. I imagine this area here to sort of be where we're going to start having our livestock and everything else. So I think we come in here. Are we in free mode? No, it's perfectly level there. Do I want to create a customized fence? Yes. So the thing I always forget to do with the customized fence mod or the addition in FS25 is put in a gate. Let's get the biggest gate we can, and let's put that in there. Let's bring this out and around. I think we bring this up to just about the corner of the field. Right, I want to give the harvester plenty of room to work. About there. Bring it over to here. I wish there was a good way to snap fences on the 90. That's a feature I'd love to see added to Farm Sim. It's just guarantee that we can do that. Let's actually come down here. Need to sort of get an aerial view to get all of this squared up. We'll go here. Go to here. We'll drop in another big gate. And then we'll finish it up right here. There we go. All right. Mike, your pigsty is in. What just happened with our pasture? What happened here, guys? We just got a concrete pasture. Maybe it's asphalt. What in the... I've never seen that before. And I even got a good fence down. Look at me. Tommy Hicks. Welcome in. Good to see ya. My podcast answer this, but your current series you have going, which is your favorite to play right now? Cattle, 555, or Homestead? You're an underrated creator, brother. Thank you, Tommy. That's very kind. So here's the thing. I have, and this is not a brag, guys. I don't have a lot of ego, so this isn't a big thing. I've got about 2,500 hours in Farm Sim between 19. I had a couple hours in 19, about 1,000 hours in 22, and then I'm closing in on 2,000 hours in 25. So I've played a lot, and when I play, you know, what we're doing a live stream is more of what I do with, you know, big farms and that kind of stuff. But that gets boring for me. I'll do a playthrough. I'll get to 40 hours and then I run out of things to do. Everything's working. I've made a bunch of money. Nothing's a challenge anymore. So when I started putting content out, that's why I started with the challenge stuff, was just to make sure that it kept me engaged and everything else. So the way I record, Tommy, is I actually record I don't record less than 3 episodes of a series at a time. Mainly because it takes me a couple episodes to get back into the swing of things, sort of pick up where I left off, get a feel for how the series is going, sort of find the direction I want to take it. So like right now, as an example, I just recorded, let's say 4, maybe 5 episodes of the Homestead series in a row. I just recorded episode 17 today. And I'll probably record 2 more episodes of Homestead's series before I move on to the next series. And because of the way the channel memberships work and having, you know, the level 3 members get access to videos up to 3 weeks in advance, I try to keep all the series going at least 3 weeks in advance. So right now I'm in a good spot, and when I finish recording the next 2 episodes of the Homestead series, I will have all my series are basically at the same spot as far as being out 3 weeks. And then I can go back and forth. I do really enjoy the Realistic Cattle Ranch series, because that's the first series I've ever recorded that had really strict, shouldn't say strict, but had really developed rules. And it really forced me to play very, very intentionally. 555 is probably the current series that is most like how I play in the real world. It's bigger equipment, bigger fields. I like big course play. I like, you know, tipper trailers on the edge of the field and grain carts in the field emptying. I like that kind of gameplay. So that one's good. And then the Homestead Challenge was actually a viewer. We talked with some of the members. I talked with some of the members early on, and was a compilation of viewer, subscriber, and member suggestions. And that series just absolutely took off. The hand tools in that series are just incredible and really turned that into something like I've never seen before. So a really long answer, Tommy, but I enjoy recording them all. And when I'm in the recording mode and I'm, you know, getting, you know, 4, 5, 6 episodes recorded in a week, I just get immersed in that series, and that's the one I really enjoy at the time. So I'm lucky in that I get to enjoy all of them. Yeah, but BP, do you recall 2 streams back? I hate the smell. Yeah, you do hate the smell of fresh cut grass. I do remember that, Jay. So 7 minutes is probably 7 minutes of torture for you. Yep, let's see. Oink oink, Mike. Yeah, hey, these are your pigs. This is Mike's pig pen. He wanted to do pigs because we've done all the other animals on all the other series. I'm using the Perfect Edge tool right here, guys. If you're not familiar with that, you drop it down, you hold shift, and it brings it across perfect. So we've had some discussion in the Discord and on the videos about whether, you know, you make your yards big square edges or you try to liven stuff up a little bit. But the Perfect Edge tool is really good for getting this kind of thing set up. Finally able to catch a live. Nuke 4, welcome, bud. Glad to have you in. Glad you're here. F4 is the best tool to make sure the fence stays straight. I'll have to try that, Jay. As long as you can deal with that grid. Dirt Ripper, I mow 10 acres, hop on a 455, and it takes me all day. I imagine you're mowing 10 acres for the purpose of getting the grass for other than trying to keep it from growing. So I imagine there's more to it than just mowing. Got to dry it, ted it, windrow it, bale it, all that kind of stuff. I only do 1,000 small squares for my parents' horses, the hay burners. I heard the price of hay is crazy for you guys who need it in the real world. That is insane. At least it'll be easier to scoop the pig poop. Yeah, at least it'll be easier. I found it earlier and less of a waste to do range cubes in the winter. The rest of the year, they said, yeah. Okay, yeah, just hit F4 on the keyboard. You'll get the grid. Okay, cool. I'll try the grid. Let's get this done. Let's try to get just a little bit of some action on the corners here. Just soften them up a little bit. I think we're actually going to need some turnaround up here. All right. So we're getting places with our farm. So here is our pig pasture. I always put trees in my pastures. $7.50 for a small square up here in Canadian dollars. Yeah, that's not cheap. Tommy, and man, I was expecting a short blank series, but yet again, underrated explanation and answer. Have you ever done anything with gold? I'm caught up on 555 in the homestead starting cattle year one super now. The cattle ranch series, I mean, I have to tell you, if I was going to watch a series, it'd be the cattle ranch series. That one is, I think that one's super cool. The gold, I'm very, very interested in. There are a couple modders out there doing some stuff with it that I think is going to be really, really key to success. Because the problem that I've experienced with gold is that it becomes a very niche, like playthrough. Because if it isn't well flushed out, then you just sort of do some things to get some dirt, and then you get the gold, and then you wait a long time, and then you sell it all and you move on. So if there's a good gold out there, I'd like it. There is, I'm going to forget the name. I don't think it's Roughneck Modding. There's a modder out there who's doing a forest map, and you guys, I'm sure someone will find them, but they have a map, and then they have a mod, like a mod dump that they're working on for the map, and they're going to have mining on there. I think coal and gold, which would be really, really cool to get into. And we had a question last stream about whether I'd get into some forestry, and the short answer to that is yes, I would like to get into some forestry. My only concern with the forestry is that content tends to get to be a little bit repetitive if we're just cutting stuff down every episode. But I think there are some good ways to, make that content more interesting. So dropping the black sheep old manure heap here, I've modified all of them to hold, I think, the same amount. But love the old manure heap from Black Sheep Modding. Small, 15. This one has a 15 million liter capacity. So makes it way, way easier. And love the little L-shaped bunker here. So let's jump down to the shop, because we sent the Kenworth down there, and we need to get an animal trailer out of the sale, or out of the shop. We'll check and see. Let's see. RGC Backcountry is the map. Yeah, Jay, that sounds right. I knew it was a 3-letter acronym. I don't know where they are on that. They were working on that in the spring. There was a ton of activity on the mod hubs for that map, and I just haven't followed up with it. But they have like a whole repository of their mods, and then they have the map, and they're all supposed to go together. So real quick scroll of the sale here. That's not going to be big enough for what we need. That is going to be an interesting trailer. We should probably just pick that up. Now, this is a modified liquid handling trailer with some significant capacity. Dual wheels? No, we'll just go with wide. We'll use this one for slurry, so plastic, brushed steel. That is an interesting 100,000 liter capacity. Dolly locking pin, definitely. tank color. It's a slurry tanker. Okay, so let's try this. The plastic. Why is the tank color not working? Design color? Is that supposed to be the tank color? That'd be a weird one. All right. Do we need it to be plastic? That doesn't seem to work either. All right, well, the colors on this one don't work, so we're not buying it. Not sure what's going on with that. I've used that mod in the past, not had any problems. So this is all getting back into the old stuff. And I don't think we had... I'm looking for the big SS cattle trailer because I don't think I have any other big cattle or animal trailers installed. Route River. Oh. This one holds 36. That is not going to be enough, but we'll do it in 2 trips. So, main color. I'm a big fan of the Bachmann blue. The Bachmann blue is a great color. That was the color for the MRB series. That was all the vehicles were Bachmann blue. And the rim color... There we go. All right, let's see. Quick question. What mod allows you to set money? Been playing on my own homestead, and after getting a truck, trailer, tractor, can't set a certain amount, like 10 grand to start. So I use Easy Dev for that nuke. And Easy Dev lets you do all kinds of things. So it's the F12 menu. So this is, let me turn off the truck so we're not listening to that in the background. Easy Dev, you jump in here. You've got your general settings on the general page. You can add money, you can remove money, or you can set money. You can fix all that stuff and go from there. I use the extra time scales. That allows you to set the time to 0 and also up to 5,000. I will tell you, any speed above 500 really starts to screw with stuff. I've had my crop calendars get screwed up, so I'd be careful with that. You can stop time, HUD visibility, all kinds of things. You've got stuff for your player in here, turn super strength on and off, flight mode. This is your object spawner. You can spawn pallets, bales, trees, bread, you know, anything you want. You have your vehicle stuff. You can fill your vehicles. You can reset them. You can set the dirt level. Your placeables. You can do stuff in here. This is your field data. You can actually go to a field and change the crops in it. If you want a wheat field to be corn, you can go in and say what stage it's going to be at and all that kind of stuff. So Easy Dev is the mod. It's available on the mod hub for PC, obviously, and it is very, very helpful for that kind of stuff. All right, Rob, welcome in. I got to actually scroll up. I got behind on chat here. Let's see. RGC, yeah, we talked about that. I was watching, yeah, Mike, I mean, I think the gold stuff would be fun. I don't want to do too much of it, but I do think it would be fun to have that with some other stuff. Easy Dev or Power Tools, yeah, Mike's right. I don't mess with Power Tools. People love it. I'm not saying it's a good or bad mod. I found Easy Dev first, and I've always used that. Rob, welcome in. Glad to have you. Rob, I've got your straw bales up at the farm. We'll go show you your straw bales. Jay says, yeah, the RBC map is running. I'm using it, have the most time on that map. I just don't mine on it. I use it for logging and farming. Higball, but horses want the Timothy, so that's why they forget first cut for the horses. Too much alfalfa, too sweet for the horses. You guys know so much about farming that I just have no knowledge of. But hey, now I know that horses like the first cut. I'm going to drop that in a conversation and sound like I know what I'm talking about, when in reality I have absolutely no idea. Remember that map I said it was in the Yukon? That's the map. So it is the RBC. Yeah, I was watching that one. I'm glad to hear that map is up and running. It looked really cool. And they were custom building like Blender models of their productions and their shops and their built barns and mines and everything, so that it was going to be really, really cool. You content create full-time or is this a hobby? I literally started watching FS25 content 2 weeks ago and haven't played the game in years, and taking serious discipline. I think I hit that exact poll last stream, guys. Taking discipline not to get set up and start. Content creation is a hobby for me. It is not my full-time gig. I play a lot of farm sim. It gives me a break from what I do in the real world. And I was talking to some friends of mine and, you know, some family that game as well. And they're like, hey, you do enough of that stuff. You probably should just consider putting out content. The worst that happens is people hate your videos and you still get to play farm sim. And I've been very fortunate that it is, that you guys have found me. And this has turned into just an incredible journey so far. So I'm super thrilled about that. Dirt Ripper, I'm lucky to have a trail broke paint. That ain't picky. I don't even know what that means, but hey, good for you, I hope. Nuke, thank you. Yeah, hey, anytime, Nuke. That's what we're here for. If you're just joining in, guys, welcome in. I have mentioned we got a great Discord running over off the YouTube channel. Lots of guys in here over there. Lots of good farm sim discussions and experience. It's for all kinds of players. If you're just getting started out, if you're brand new, if you've been doing it for 100 years, we got a great community. A couple guys set up a multiplayer server for us. We've got at least one multiplayer server over there. But yeah, we've got a looking for help where you guys want to drop questions. You're welcome to ask here too. But the Discord is a huge resource, and we got a lot of guys over there doing some really cool stuff. I worked with a local conservation to restore native grass back to the pasture. That's cool. That's what farming should be all about. Your lane departure isn't working on that truck. No, this truck, this is like a 1990s, 1980s T800. It's got nothing in it. The inside, it's all analog. It's a beautiful truck. I mean, the modeling on this one's great, but it ain't got no sensors, no cameras on it. He's like me, you turned it off. Yeah, I turned mine off too. You mean when you go to change lanes and you don't use your blinker because no one's around and tries to keep you in the lane and you're fighting the steering wheel? That's my least favorite. Can't stand that noise. It's a nightmare. It's nightmare fuel, yep. All right, so let's go in. I don't remember where the trigger is for the pickup here. I think it's right here in the middle. No, oh, it's right here in the gate. Let's get the gate open. I'm gonna go pick up all these cows, and we don't have anywhere to put them yet, so we'll have to figure all of that out. And Mike, you know what we get to do tonight? The modded SIGs, yeah. Got a pack of Marlboros on the center console there. You know, Mike, what we get to do tonight? We get to find the animal dealer. I suspect it won't go any worse than it did on Paligny the other night. So poor Mike was just screaming at me every time I went to the map, and I kept hovering over the animal dealer and not seeing it. And he kept trying to help me out, and I couldn't be helped that night. It was no helping me. So if I select 50 and I can only fit 36 in, does that mean only 36 transfer, or does it not transfer any? No, so it transferred as many as it could. All right, so that is good. And the hunt begins. I actually saw it. I saw the animal dealer on this map when I was doing my contracts. I did 3 contracts. If you guys joined a little late, we did 3 contracts overnight, which is what gave us the 15% discount on this farm down here. So I got to drive around the map a little bit because I feel like I did play on this map at one point, but I can't remember why. I didn't have a game save on it, so I wasn't overly familiar when we started, but this has been a really cool map. So let's get these cows up to the farm. We're going to have to put a cow barn in. I think I've got a modded cow barn loaded. I think I tried to load a modded pasture or a modded barn for absolutely every animal to see what we got into here. And I don't remember which one it is for the cows. It might be, I wonder if it's the cow barn with the dairy built in. And you guys notice, nice wide straight road. We got that fixed from that paving crew the other night. All right. Rob, if you're still in here, we're about to come across your straw bales from the other night. I got them all stacked up nice and neat. We got to figure out what we're going to do with them. A bunch of them need to go to the pig pen is where they need to go. But right up here, yep, right in front of the, there he is. Rob, here are your hay bales, or your straw bales from our course play straw baling. We got a couple of them off that field. I got them all stacked up between episodes. We're going to be putting them in the pens. So let's figure out what we want to do with all of these cows that we weren't planning on having on this playthrough. Get that stopped. All right. Wonder which cow barn I installed. The big barn, cow barn with dairy. I've been wanting to try this mod. I think we talked about this the other night, or maybe it was even in Discord. We talked about this mod and someone said it was finicky. So we'll see how all this turns out. Trying to figure out, so this is a cow barn with a dairy production built into it. Now, they didn't get the milk to go directly from the barn to the production. So you do have to pick up the milk and like drive it around the corner, but you don't have a separate production building that you have to worry about. So I'm not entirely sure. Man, there are a lot of triggers. Ooh, there are a lot of triggers on this thing. We got the animal trigger on this side. We have the fill on the left and the milk on the left. So I assume that's the dairy. The food probably goes in the front here. There's the straw icon. And there's the slurry. Is there anything on the back side? Yeah, there's your milk. So that the production's got to be over there. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is try to put this so that the slurry pit and the manure pit, or the slurry tank and the manure pit, stick out just a little bit right here. And then we're going to try to get our fences to line up. Now, when we did this with the pigs, you guys saw we ended up with a concrete pasture we're trying to avoid. Okay, guys, hold on. What's the key? F4. Nope, that's, guys, I don't. You guys think this is what is this what you guys meant by F4? Oh boy. This is craziness. I've never used this before. I try to avoid this kind of farm sim looking like this at all costs. For the grid, yes. Okay, well, here we go. Learning something new. I do agree. It makes getting this done a lot easier. I can just see where I want to go. And right there, and do I want to put the meadow in? Yes. Is it going to be concrete? Is it going to be grass? All right, what do you guys think? Grass or concrete? You can get your vote in. I'll give you a couple seconds to get your vote in. Because the pig pasture, I don't think we're getting pasture grass or meadow grass out of that. All right, let's see. Grass, Higball, I like the positivity. Mike says grass. We're definitely getting asphalt, guys. We're definitely nuke. Learning all kinds of new stuff. Learning how not to do things is probably the first thing. All right, now here we go. We got 2 votes for grass. I got to turn off F4. Hey, we got grass. Look at that. We win. I don't know what's going on with that pig pen. That was weird to have. And we actually got real grass out of it, too. All right, and then my thought here in leaving that fence a little bit short on this side was I'm going to come in here, and I got to keep up with Jay, because Jay likes to pretend like he doesn't know how to decorate a farm, but he posted some pictures in the Discord, and he's got some decorations and got fences and gates and all kind of stuff. So I gotta, you know, at least try to keep up a little bit and not look like a complete slouch when it comes to making the farm look nice. So I figure a nice corner there, cut down on the wind coming across the field for the farms, or for the cows. Let's see. Grass, doing a lot. Thanks for all the response, Mike. Jordan, welcome in. Haven't seen it yet. Grass, hey, Jordan nailed it too. Absolutely. Yep, it was. If it was asphalt, your drunk crew came back. I'm concerned they might be sleeping in one of the barns. That was the path from the other night was not my best work. You didn't rotate the trees. See, I mean, I can't keep up with Jay. I'm trying to do something here, trying to make it look a little bit nice, and Jay's already telling me I should be rotating the trees, which is a good point, Jay. You are correct. Come in here, grab some bushes. We want some low shrubs, and I'm thinking we'll get this bigger, and we'll just give it a quick little zigzag through the trees, up through here, and then maybe we do a quick little, just sort of some shrubs around the bases of the trees in the pig pen. Try to just give it a little bit of detail, not have everything be completely squared up in grass on absolutely everything. All right. All right, we're getting a farm put together. The last thing we got to do here before we can get the cows in is connect up our paths. So let's see. I like to extend this stuff a little bit. Again, with the perfect edge tool, right down. Got to go slow at the edge because it likes to zip through. Then we'll get rid of all that. And we are here. We're going to have a pad up here to be able to get to this stuff. So we'll come here, bring that out just a little bit. Release, release. I wish the perfect edge tool would move two directionally, but as far as what it does it really, really well. You didn't rotate the trees. Okay, I'll let you do you here. What I learned from other maps and by using weeds as landscape plants. Forest needle texture makes good garden mulch. Oh, good to know. Cool. Over under how many times a tractor gets stuck in those trees while working that field course play. Oh, Mike, I mean, those trees are there for the tractor. They're there to stop them from hitting the fence. All three of the contracts I did after I was bragging about being able to get course play done well the other night. Here we go. Jay, rotate. 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 There we go. I got 3 trees in the right way. All that bragging I did about getting all that course play done, all 3 of the contracts I did off camera. I mean, just one of them was outside of the map. The tractor was hanging off the outside of the map. The only thing keeping in the map was that that Bednar MPC tiller got caught in the trees like a land anchor, and the tractor was just like literally like hanging over the edge of the map, trying to fall off. So yeah, course play is going to be absolutely crazy. Hey, Higbald, that is a good comment. We, over in the Discord, I don't know if I found it or one of you guys found it, but there is a realistic damage mod being worked on right now that is on the level with the realistic animals, that looks incredible. Has multiple types of damage, has error codes, looks really, really cool. So that is something that I was thinking, maybe that's the play, right? Forestry map with some mining, and then put in the damage, because you'd be running big trucks and big equipment, right? Did I miss the trigger? Where is... Oh, the animal trigger's right there. Got it. Yeah, if damage was realistic, none of us would make it. All right. We're going to select all... Oh, unload animal. Unload animal. I'm not sure. I feel like I've seen that before. Select all. What is going on here? Load into, load from. This menu is like backwards. Select all. Unload animal. You want to move this animal whole scene? Yes. Am I going to have to move these animals individually? Oh, thank you, Mike. You know, not keeping up with Jay, but for an amateur, it's not too bad. All right, what is the deal here? Select none, select all, unload animal, select. Am I literally going to have to move 50 animals, like manually? What is it saying here? Animal type does not support unloading. Guys? Okay. On this menu, load onto the Wilson Silver Shark trailer. 36 out of 36 animals. Great. This should be the load in. There's some sort of conflict here with the animals going on. Let's jump out and take a quick look. are we? There's the dairy production aspect of it. There's that. Maybe we get a little closer. I cannot tell you whether this trailer should not be a problem. This is just a capacity modded base game trailer. I didn't mod it, but I've used it before without any issues. Select all. There's no move all. There's no move at all. So unload animal. Let's see. If I select this animal, unload. You want to unload this animal, 1 Holstein. Unload animal. All right. This is an interesting one, guys. I'm not sure what to do about all these cattle that apparently can't be unloaded. Well, we'll have to think about that one. What happens if I do this? Leave that there. Yeah, Tommy, I agree. I tried opening the gate. That was my first thought too. Does not appear to be the solution for reasons I don't understand. And again, these are cows that we don't even really want. We're going to reset the trailer with all the animals in it. And we're going to see what happens. Did we make the animals disappear? Because that would be the ideal outcome, because we don't really want the cows. I'll buy new cows if we need them. Alright, so it appears there are no animals in here anymore. Let's run back and just see what happens. If it's a mod conflict with the barn. Jay, did you tell me the other night there was a conflict with this barn? Jay's messed with just about everything. Alright, so we get backed up. Can't even get into the menu because we don't have... Can't even get into the barn menu here. Huh. That is a weird one. No? Okay, so it wasn't... It must not have been this barn. We're going to swing around and try a side hit right here. Okay. Well, the cow pasture, this cow pasture might be short-lived for this playthrough, but we'll get there. Let's run back down and get the rest of the cows. We're going to get them out of that pen and just sort of make them disappear by using the reset on the trailer. And then we'll delete the big cow barn down there, and we'll be ready to start our plowing together the fields however we can work around those fences. Might have an interesting shaped field, but hey, we'll get there. Yeah, buy from the trigger. Yeah, that's fair. And I guess that's true. We could just sell the cows down here and figure out that way we can go pick up some pigs. And if the pigs are a problem in this trailer, then obviously it's a problem. Yeah, exactly. Sell them from the trigger too. I agree. That's a good idea. We'll do that. We'll come down here. We'll sell the animals from the trigger. We'll go pick up the pigs. If the pigs are a problem, then obviously there's a problem with the trailer. If the pigs are not a problem, then it could be something weird with them being base game cows. It is odd that they're real cows down here, and I wonder if there's some combination of the realistic livestock mod and them being sort of base game animals and being in here when you start the map. So let's select all. Let's sell selected. $5,000. Excellent. We got rid of cows and made them disappear. And sell the barn. Okay. Perfect. All we have are these silly fences. I wish it would just... There's got to be one... Is there one, like one spot you can click them? Every once in a while you get lucky. I'm surprised the map hider mod doesn't work on this. Jade, I'm interested that you had that same experience. So there's some sort of like non-decorative object there, like a map object or something. Well, we can get it figured out either way. Just give it one last quick check. Okay, cool. It is what it is. All right, Animal Dealer Adventure, here we come. We're going to jump into the map. Get all this stuff turned off, get the screen cleaned up a little bit. I bet we could turn those fences into some sort of animal pasture too if we linked them up properly. That'd be an interesting way to do that. So the animal dealer was down here. Let's see. I plowed. I did field 43. I drove down here. And it was right down. General, visit, grain silo. Was on our way to field 140 when I saw it. I feel like this is the animal dealer, like right in here. Well, could be another adventure. Could be looking for it. All right, well. Mike's struggling a little to find it. Hey, I've seen it. It exists. I'm confident it exists. We'll head out the other way. We'll drive down there. We'll find that animal dealer. We may even put the auto drive course in to get down there. How is the game volume mix for you guys? Because I have my game volume turned all, like not all the way down, but pretty far down. So, okay, I'm back. I just got done walking Walker Farms on YouTube. They had issues with their Big Bud. Fine by me for the sound and their combine. Sounds good. Okay. Because I just got my streaming set up. So the camera, the stream deck are all new, and getting all that stuff set up was really cool. But just a lot in there, and I tried to make sure that I got the controls for all the sound and everything done ahead of time, and should be balanced, but should also have it to the point where if we need to make adjustments, we can. So, hate to be blasting you guys with, you know, game sound at a volume that's unbearable. Yeah, Walker Farms, or Welker Farms, the stuff they do with the Big Buds is incredible. I think those guys are like mechanics, maybe even more so than farmers. I mean, they do a ton of farming, but they had an episode, it was maybe last year. Great mix, perfect. Thanks, guys, I appreciate it. If it's ever a problem, please just say something. Like I said, I believe I understand how to change that if we needed to. But the Walker Farm guys, they had an episode, maybe last year I caught some of, where they were buying BLM land off of other farmers and then trying to get it like back to tillable, plantable, arable ground. And these fields that had sat for 20 or 25 years, or whatever it was, and they're over there with the Big Buds just ripping, cross-ripping these fields, trying to get 2 decades worth of growth torn out and the ground leveled out and everything else. That would look like a huge problem. Isaac, welcome back. Good to have you. Hope you're doing well tonight. All right, Mike, you know, every minute I'm driving and we're not the animal dealer is a minute we could be lost. So we're going to have to see how this goes. If my memory works, we're heading the right way. If it doesn't, we're just exploring the bottom half of the map, going on a little walkabout. Such a cool map with the bridges and the terrain. Lots and lots of details. So the other things I wanted to look at tonight, we got to get that field plowed up. We're probably getting implement in on that here pretty soon. Obviously get the animals going. I wanted to install a couple of the other greenhouses only because they let us do the like cereal crops for the pig food. So, and I don't know. You guys tell me, maybe I'm missing an easy way to do pig food, but with all of that, all the ingredients, the pig food just seems like a lot for me. I'm no farmer, but my grandmother on my dad's side was born on one. She's fond telling stories about the night she was born. The doctor had to ride out on a horseback for delivery. Yeah. Crazy stuff. We'll just think of this as a map tour. I believe in you, BP. Well, that may be misplaced. Sims Joseph, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. Welcome in. Attitude adjustment. Yeah, I did see that mod. I didn't understand that one today. Tommy, don't dox yourself, brother, but we're here for you, but where are you from? At first I thought you were Southern, but you're wearing a hoodie in September, so now I'm thinking you're somewhere north. Yeah, I'm in Ohio, northern part of Ohio, so that's, well, at least that's where we are currently. All right, Mike, we may have to admit defeat here. We may have just been driving around in circles for the sake of doing it. January of 1918 must have been hell of a time. All right, we're going to check the map. We're pulling it back up. I swear I saw it. Now we've totally wandered off course. Sawmill. All right. The animal dealer struggles are real. There's only like 6 things on this map. We have to be near it. Right? I mean, we cannot have gone that far. Grain silo west, lime, liquid manure, rent the train, the sawmill. There's just nothing on this side of the map. All right, well. Spain and Sons, flour. All right, well, that's it. There's no animal dealer. Someone's going to have to go find it. Nuke, you're in the correct area. Well, yeah, I wasn't looking when you said that, so that's on me. Oh, I have the animal dealer turned off, too. That's even better. So let's see. Now that the animal dealer's turned back on, that'll be helpful. At least stand a chance of finding it. All right, someone's got to give me a quadrant or a field or something here so we can find it. I told you, Mike, it was going to be an adventure. The animal dealer and I are just not friends. Can never find it easily. Oh for 2, yeah. Oh for 2. Me and the animal dealer, not good. We don't work well together. It's not a good fit. We'll just go buy the pigs. We have this trailer. We're trying to do it the right way, trying to go pick up the animals. Now we're getting a car wreck. We're blocking traffic. Situation's going from bad to worse rapidly. By the time I get back to the farm, Nuke will text me exactly or message me exactly where it is. So then I'll be back there and we won't be able to make it. So, can you tag it? Somebody help me? Yeah, I agree. That's what I sound like up here. Me and the animal dealers. And I saw it the other day when I was doing the contract, so I know it's on here. Just have to figure out where I saw it. Start dropping a pin. Says it's in the same lot as the train silo, so I was right. Okay, let's we're gonna believe in ourselves. It's a bad choice, but it is a choice. All right, we'll zoom way in. All right, it's probably this building back here. That's probably the problem. Okay, so I was in the right area. Nuke's gonna start the game. Nuke, I don't deserve you. That's way too helpful. All right, we're heading to the train dealer or train depot. 2,000 feet to glory. We're gonna find it. We're gonna buy the pigs. And you know what happens after all this, guys? We go down there. We buy the pigs. We find it. Finally, get to have some success with an animal dealer, and then we're gonna get back there, and the trailer isn't gonna work for that animal, for the pig pen, anyways. So we'll get there and we'll figure it all out. We'll buy the pigs, then I'll have to go and reset the trailer to get them to disappear. And then we'll end up buying them at the trigger regardless. So, always an adventure in Farm Sim. Because I'm near a certain Great Lake, so you... Oh, not paying attention. That would have been bad, guys. Because I'm near a certain Great Lake, so you, depending on how far north you are... We're not that far apart. Oh, cool, Jay. I did see the bioplastic production, Isaac. That was interesting. I actually looked at that. My problem with mods like that is that they're just, if they're completely self-contained, right? The mod has no interaction with any other part of the game. It's a novelty, which is great and not a bad thing. You guys can hit each other if you want. I'm going to stick over here. Oh, so we probably drove right by it. All right, so there's the animal dealer. Ha! See, Mike, I'm like 0 for 1.5. It's not quite 0 for 2. I get like a half-point credit, but here I am in the wrong parking lot and can't get to the animal dealer from here. Gotta get out super strength and just lift the truck over the fence. All right, so 0 for 1 3/4. It's not quite an 0 for 2, but it's definitely not a solid win either. So yeah, the bioplastic, stuff like that, if there's no interaction... Oh no, we're getting pigs. We're definitely doing pig. We'll scrap the trailer if we need to. But the bioplastics, when it's stuff like that where you're just putting everything... Yeah, pulling in the wrong way. Just rookie driver here. Watch out. When you're putting in all that effort for a production like that, and there's just nothing to show for it other than just to sell it at its own provided sell point, that always, I don't know, that is unfulfilling for me. So here we are at the animal dealer. Surprisingly to most people, we actually got here. I know it was hit or miss, and the over-under was that I was not going to find it tonight, but we did. Let's look at some pigs, but let me get caught up here real quick. If that happens, scrap the trailer. Yeah, meant to be pulling the wagon, the icing on the cake. We all live in like a big radius. Yep. The Gyrax BMXL pack, Isaac, I saw that today. That's a cool trailer. It's got like the dual grain doors, but it's got the lift on the actual bed for like filling lime spreaders and stuff. That looked really cool. So let's grab any animal that is basically decent at this point. Let's see. Overall good. Yeah, meat quality. We had that discussion earlier. Was meat quality part of the old realistic livestock, or was that... I don't think it was called meat quality. I think they changed the name of that trait. So, it's got some big ears on that piglet. Most of these are not very good. I think we can hold a whole bunch of pigs too. All right, and you know what we're going to do, guys? We're not going to buy any boars. We're only going to buy sows. Because we have the updated realistic livestock mod in place. We drove down here and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pigs. Wild amounts of success. Because we have the updated realistic livestock mod, yeah, we're taking out their grass. I'm not driving all the way around. We are going to check out the artificial insemination stuff, and we're going to check out the herdsman aspect of the mod, and we're going to see if we can get all of that automated for the pigs and just have the herdsman employee do that stuff for us. And I'm interested to see how that works out, because I don't know if we have to buy the straws from the boars for the insemination, or if he'll buy them, or if the herdsman will buy them for us. Well, Tommy, I'll tell you, where I am in Ohio, LeBron left us, so it was always Jordan. It was never LeBron, but even after that, it's definitely Jordan. So, but let's head back and see if we can get the realistic livestock update stuff running and see how that works with getting a couple of these sows impregnated using the worker and all that stuff. If you guys haven't played around with that, the update to the realistic livestock mod is very, very cool. Tommy knows ball. Well, then, Tommy, you can be our expert. Like I said, I'm a hockey guy, not a football guy or basketball guy, so not even watch that much. But if I have to watch sports, it's going to be hockey. So, okay, almost back to the farm. Now, if I'd been smart, I would have at least dropped a auto drive waypoint at the animal dealer so I could find it again, and I didn't even do that. So it'll be an adventure to find it next time we need to go down there as well. So I was liking the conversation we were having about the like the mining stuff. So maybe that's the next series. We talked maybe Sunday a little bit about the next series will probably be starting in November-ish. I got to wrap up the Realistic Cattle Ranch series, and we're towards the end of that series. I've got to make the money. Right now, the recorded episodes, I'm out of debt. We have 300 or 290 cows or something. I think it's like 312. And the 3 criteria for the Realistic Cattle Ranch are 300 animals, no debt, and 4 million in the bank. And I think we're up to 1.4 million on that save. So we are closing in on the end of that series. Just got to make some money. But then maybe moving to forestry and mining might be an interesting option. I'm not sure. That may be a live stream topic too. We'll have to see how all that works out. All right, that's the slurry. Presumably, yeah, the animal trigger's on this end. So let's see if the trailer was the problem. Yeah, there's the overhang. If the trailer was the problem, or if it was the cows, or maybe the barn itself. So let's see. Yeah, then we are really close because I've been to the city more of the times than I can count. Anytime my boss sent me there to fix something, I cursed his name. You got too many teeth to be a hockey player, brother. I did not make it to a level of hockey where I didn't wear a face mask. And I am big enough that getting punched in the face was more of a challenge than it was worth for a lot of guys. So I lucked out in that regard and got to keep my chiclets where they belong. All right, so tell me. Okay. So I would say it's a problem with the barn, guys, because we have select none, select all, and then I have my C command for move selected, which is what I was missing in the Realistic Cattle Ranch series for about 10 episodes, and everyone was very kind in making sure I knew that I was not paying enough attention. So let's get these guys moved in. Yep. Or it was your free cows. I'm guessing that they probably did something with those base game cows, which would be a little weird because if you bought the farm, the cows were there, right? I mean, so they have to exist in some capacity, but who knows? So let's check out and see what our options are. If you haven't seen the video on the updated on the Realistic Livestock mod, they added a couple of menus. You have your standard buy, sell, your information, and then you have this menu, which is the artificial insemination, where you can go into all of the available male animals that you can get semen specimens from for insemination here and buy them, and they're called straws. And even the chickens. Cheery Groovy is very good at artificial insemination. That's all you got to say on that. So let's look at the pigs. We have Rex, who is very good. Napoleon Robin. Yeah, we got the classic Realistic Livestock. When you switch menus, extremely good Unagi, extremely good Spotty Winston. So Spotty Winston, his metabolism is extremely high, his health is extremely high, his fertility is extremely high, and his meat quality is extremely high. Average chance of success of an insemination is 60%, and straws are $14.94. If I go to Unagi, they're $14.59, and he has a 68% chance of success, so you're paying for a little bit more success there. We can buy up to 1,000 straws. It seems like buying 1,000 straws might be too much. So let's start with 10. We only have 6 pigs from Spotty Winston, and we're going to go ahead and buy those for $149.42. So those are at the store, which if you remember, I didn't reset the store, so the store is right here. So they come in this cryo cooler. I'm going to pick it up and move it where you guys can see it. Maybe. Cryo cooler. Get it out of the grass so you can see it. Bring it over here so we know it's the pig specimens. And let's see if we can get close. It has the animal number. So was it Spotty, whatever his name was? That's his actual animal number taped on the side. Liquid cryogen, artificial insemination storage, 10 straws. So that's where they come. And the idea behind the mod is that if you want to, you can come up to this. And if I open the menu, I can use, let's see. I think we're too close to the animal dialogue. Let's see if I can get this moved back out of the trigger area. Because you're supposed to be able to approach this and... Okay, great. Now we've got the open door. How about we just get this where there's no triggers of any kind around. Let's put it back over here by the trailer. You're supposed to be able to take the straws out of here. And like physically have them on your person. And then you're supposed to be able to go into the pens and walk up to an animal and manipulate the animal in the pen and also do the artificial insemination that way. It's my understanding and experience that is not working yet. So we have the 10 straws. Come back over here and get it back into the menu. Let's see what we get caught up here. I'm saying free cows. It messed up for me when I started this map. Okay, good to know, Nuke. I do not want to do artificial stuff. That just seems terrifying. It is making it real. I missed when you sold, but it did show the stats on those cows. Interesting. Did it show the stats on the cows? Yeah, the cows worked like in the actual sale menu, the cows looked normal, but at the bottom there was no option to sell. Like the C button wasn't available, the C command wasn't available. You could select all, and then there was some weird sell option, and then it said this animal can't be moved or sold was the error. So it was bizarre. No, it didn't hit. Okay, so Nuke was paying attention. So the base cows had non-realistic mod then. Oh, that's an interesting thought. So you're probably right. Those base game cows probably got excluded from the realistic cattle mod. Very cool. Okay, so Higgs the expert on artificial insemination. Got it. Runs in the family. The Reuter seed hopper. I've not seen that one. Mike, have you done any collabs with any other creators? I really only watch you and Farmer Cop. I like Farmer Cop's massive farm series where he keeps a detailed spreadsheet, which is cool. I was like, Farmer Cop, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, is the coolest nerd in Farm Sim. That man, I bet, has more spreadsheets than all of us combined, and I love it. If I ever need to know anything about a mod, if I'm like, just tell me, you know, when I was having a conversation in the chat and YouTube today, you know, like, what is the right length of log to sell to get the most money? Yeah, just go to a Farmer Cop video. He's got all the data. He's hilarious. He's a great guy. Love watching his stuff. But no, Tommy, I have not done a collab. We were talking about this yesterday in the afternoon stream. I posted my first video April 28th. So this has been an absolute whirlwind process getting to this point as quickly as I have. And it's been a ton of fun, but just absolutely took off out of nowhere. I was planning on posting some videos and just seeing what happened. And, you know, I was going to make the videos anyways. And here we are today. So, you know, that's where we are. So we're at the herdsman menu. You can have the herdsman automatically buy animals. You can turn it on, and then you can give them a budget. You can give them max animals. You can pick what kind of animals you want, their age. There's a slider, their value, their fertility, health, all that kind of stuff. What I want to see is I want to enable this max animals. I don't really care. You know, like if we have 100 pigs, get 100 pigs pregnant. That's the way to do it. The herdsman will not mark animals to be inseminated. Yeah, let's mark them. I want to see that. The herdsman will AI animals regardless of artificial inseminate animals regardless of disease. The herdsman will only artificial inseminate animals with a disease. Why would we want only the animals with disease to be inseminated? That doesn't. Maybe they can't reproduce naturally. Don't know. Herdsman will use any viable semen. Okay. Oh, so this is actually interesting, guys. So we bought those 10 straws, and here they are. So if I come back here, and let's go back to the pigs, and let's find, we can go to Unagi. So let's buy 10 straws from Unagi. And then let's come back to the herdsman menu. And you can pick, Okay, enabled. We got lost here. We lost all of our progress. 100 mark. So you can actually pick which sample they use. So if you only want to have one, so that's really interesting. Age, I don't really care, but let's keep them under at 3 years. I don't want them inseminated anymore. Meat quality, I don't care. We're just going to breed. Okay, we're going to hit apply. So that took. It did. Okay. So now our herdsman should be in here doing all the things we need to do to get our all-female pig population pregnant so we can have more animals. And we're just going to store the tanks of straws next to the barn. All right, let's see. You and Farmstick together would be great. You both do roleplay extremely well. Thank you, Mike. That's a huge compliment. That he's a great YouTuber as well. And I watched he put out a very raw video about, you know, getting sort of lost in making content, and was very honest about like his journey back to being happy about his content creation. And I'm so happy for him just that he's back and enjoying that and having success, because, you know, I'm at the stage, I'm so new to this that I'm enjoying it still, but, you know, feeling obligated to put out content would be absolutely awful. 420 hunt, any symbolism there? No symbolism there, Tommy. There's a pig named Napoleon, Animal Farm, gotta love it. Yep. Crazy thing is, I found SW Socks Way Up from his 22 Cattle Ranch series, and found BP from his Cattle Ranch series. Yeah, the year one supercut for the RC series is wildly high performing out of all my videos. So excited that video is working. We were talking about this the other day too. The supercuts were never like, I guess I shouldn't say a plan. They just were never something I really thought about. And then someone I was talking to said, yeah, if you have the videos, you know, why not put a supercut together? And they have absolutely been the highest performing videos on the channel. So real quick, I do want to, I think we need to put lime on our grass and our wheat field. So let's see. This one does not say it needs lime, which would be great news. Okay, doesn't need lime, doesn't need lime. And of course, all this down here is going to need lime. Well, let's go work on that and figure that out. We're going to take the fence down there, and we're going to get the fields plowed up. Let me see. You know what, you guys? You know, I forgot. This is on me. This is obviously my mistake. You know what we didn't put in was the fuel tank. So let's go ahead and drop that in. I'm thinking of putting it right here on the way up into the farm in hopes that the auto drive course can find it. So we have that in there now. All right, let's see. Yeah, a second channel, absolutely. Manure crane, I did see that, Isaac. I was interested to see how that mod was going to work. Just do what makes you happy and what you like. People will watch. Yeah, I appreciate that, Hig. That's how I feel about life. You know, I don't spend a lot of time. I shouldn't say I don't spend a lot of time trying to please people, but if I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to do it. Life's too short for all that. I was a fireman in an EMS for 12 years full time, and had a nice perspective on life bestowed on me through that decade of experience. And now, you know, you do the things you love, you take care of the people you care about, and move on from there. Supercuts got me hooked for sure. Great for watching during work. And that was the response I got, Tommy, was people were saying, you know, do the supercuts, because then, you know, people will fall asleep to them. People will turn them on at work in the background. Whereas the episodes, people want to, you know, they're more engaged. They want to watch. They don't want to miss stuff. But supercuts, you can rewind, you can restart, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Hig, I was just thinking that as I pulled out. Baby Saja, welcome. Caught a live stream. Glad you're here. Yeah, Hig, Yeah, you know what, Hig? I'm making you responsible for making sure the pigs get fed so they don't die overnight. We'll get that done before the end of the episode. We're just about to hit the 2-hour mark. I think I'm going to go 2.5, 3 hours tonight, so we got a bit of time here. You know, I think maybe we just embrace the fence and do some stuff that is definitely not going to be a problem for course play. We're going to make this field so simple and easy that there's no way course play will screw this up. So guys, if you weren't here for the live stream on Sunday, you haven't seen that video, this is the Bednar NPC mod. If you're looking for fast field work and you're not looking for a lot of realism, this is the mod that I'd put at the top of the list. Within the actual mod, you can change it. It's currently in plow state. I can use Control Y to get to cultivator, mulcher and plow, mulcher and cultivator, plow and cultivator, mulcher, plow, cultivator, and back to mulcher. Who does all three functions and in combination. So that is really, really nice as far as having, you know, single implements on the farm. We are going to do one thing to this area real quick before we plow it up. I do not want to worry about doing grass around the outside at the end. So we're going to just get grass around the fences so we don't have to come back in and do that. And this actually should all be plowed up, so that shouldn't matter. This little spot here, let's go over, let's grab some field grass. And let's just get all of this grassed in, so there's no issues with that later. All right, so the field that is definitely not going to create an issue for course play, here we go. I'm going to catch up on chat before I get into this because I'll be distracted. If I crash with the plow on, we'll have all kinds of issues. Oh, Tommy, don't worry about it. Being a paramedic and fireman was great, but you know, that was just something I enjoyed doing. That island feature in course play is for field obstructions, isn't it, Mike? Are you suggesting that there might be some obstructions on the field I'm about to create? I told you this field is going to be very easy for course play to keep up with. Nuke, been loving your series and the responses on questions. Keep putting supercuts on when I'm playing myself for anxiety, going crazy. Keep it up, bro. Hey, I appreciate the support. Glad you guys love them. Happy to do them. And I'm excited. I just recorded the 17th episode of Homestead today, and that is the first episode of year 2. So the year 1 supercut for Homestead is going to be 16 videos when they come out. It's going to be really, really big. I love the story about EMS and on a farm. He was a fellow... Love your story about an EMS and a farm. He was a fellow student when I got my second degree. Didn't think I could share that fully here due to YouTube rules, but just saying combine fatality. Yep. I saw some things, did some things, all kinds of craziness. Yep. It was a genuine question. Yes, Mike, the island feature does help you go around things. This is going to be perhaps more than an island, so we'll see what happens. The South American rice fields, Isaac, I did see that mod came out today. I don't have any desire to do rice. You know, I'm not against rice or anything. Rice does not appeal to me as a crop type. The equipment doesn't seem interesting to me. The way it grows, the flooding of the fields, all seems very, very odd. I don't know. I don't get into it. It doesn't do anything for me. So we'll go ahead and get everything tucked in here, trying to keep a reasonable distance from the fence. Not that I think it's going to matter a whole lot, but we are going to try to do that anyways. All right, field creation is working well. I like grapes over rice, but I'm biased, used to seeing vines in real life. Yep. Yeah, I haven't done a lot with the vineyards. I haven't done grapes. I haven't done olives. There were a couple of mods in 22, I believe it was, that came out. Didn't we have like an olive tree mod in 22 that just produced pallets of olives. Like, I'd be willing to do something like that requires that level of commitment. But all that specialty equipment, I mean, you guys see, I've crashed into like 6 trees tonight. Can you imagine me trying to drive through a vineyard with the posts and the wires and the grapes and everything else while talking to you guys? We would produce, like, I would have a better success rate at finding the animal dealer than producing wine, if that was the case. So, all right, so we're going to get this field all plowed up and together. We are going to have to lime it, which gives us a chance to buy a lime spreader. I don't know that I have one in mind. Some of the plains and prairie stuff I really want to like. There's the big air cart style. Is it a fertilizer spreader in the plains and prairies pack? Looks really cool. Has like it's like the air boom maybe. So, but the capacity is like 6,000 liters or something. It's huge, huge piece of machinery, and then just has very little capacity. Do I not own? Oh, you know what, guys? You know what we didn't do? Do we need to buy these fields? Guess what? We need to buy these fields. Okay. We now own the fields. That takes care of that problem. Right quick and in a hurry. Juice mods make grapes better, especially grape seed oil, but that's way off topic. You should buy that. Yeah, we'll figure something out. If that air boom from the Plains and Prairie pack does lime, maybe we'll look at that one. There are a couple Colossus ones there. I love the Colossus ones because they're easy. They don't make for great playthrough. They're not particularly interesting, like actual pieces of equipment. They're just so easy to use. I remember when that came out for 22 and it was just a game changer on console, having a harvester that could actually do something and actually go through into big fields. And because you don't have course play on console, so you can't have, you know, all your field side, you know, bins and your grain carts and everything else running. So Colossus pack, being able to just have a 250,000 or million liter capacity on your harvester was so nice to have, to be able to get playing when you're on console. So found a lot of time to use those before I switched over to PC in Farm Sim 22. So here we go. Like I said, here's my guarantee. We're recording it so you guys can get back. Guaranteed no problems from course play on this field. This is going to be so easy and so straightforward. The worker's going to have zero problems. Going to be a very, very easy field to harvest and to work on and everything else. It's probably the best field we're going to have on this playthrough. So excited that we're getting the best field on the map bought and plowed up tonight. I can't believe there isn't a Colorado map with pot farming. Yeah, I agree. It would bring everyone over from GTA or a Columbia map for another kind. Yeah, the Columbia map we got to be careful talking about on here. I don't care, but that is, that farm sim does not want anything to do with that. Giants don't want anything to do with that. It is funny, and I said earlier, I would love to have like a start from scratch style map somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, whether it's Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, just something that, gives you the elevation, something that arable crops were not a great option on. Something of that nature I think would be really, really fun. Yeah, coca production. I know there's a huge debate between the 22 and 25 camp. I don't have a horse since all I know is 25. Are there any real big differences you notice? I mean, I'll say visually, 25 is stunning. The graphics are so much better. We've had a number of guys posting in the Discord, like there are a number of people playing on New Frontier, and like that morning sun and that evening sun, the graphics, the lighting in FS25 is so much better. The water textures are so much better. as well. I made the comment the other day that I don't play with precision farming anymore in 25. I just don't find it enriches the game. I did feel like precision farming was really good in Farm Sim 22. I don't really know why. Like, I can't put my finger on what the big difference is between the two, but I do feel like precision farming was better in Farm Sim 22 than it is here. And I know we're not at a year yet for Farm Sim 25, but I feel like the mods for 25 have been really, really slow to come out. I feel like we had more mods in the first 3 months of 22 than we've had in, I mean, what, it came out in November, right? So we're like 10 months in. And there are days, because when I look for mods, I start on the mod sites and then I go check Mod Hub. I'm happy to use Mod Hub, but I don't want to check 8 or 10 places for mods. I go to a couple like King Mods, stuff like that, and just, in the morning check and see what's been out, what's been released for the day. And when I go back to Mod Hub sometimes, I open up and I'm shocked that all the mods on Mod Hub, like you go to, like, let's say, I don't remember exactly which category I was looking at the other day, but you open up a category and they all fit on one page. Like, how do all the mods this late into the game fit on one page? There should be so many more than that. So, yeah, Hig, I agree. They're gonna see that corner with the fence up there, and they're gonna want to cut the corner to come back, and that's going to be a problem. There's a greenhouse mod. I have seen the cannabis greenhouse mod. I think there's actually 2 out there. Speaking of Colossus, with the root crop for pigs, you could always get the unrealistic header for the harvest and make it easier instead of taking forever on the potato harvest. I agree. My thought was to do the updated greenhouses that I thought I dropped in on the mod folder today, but obviously didn't. That would allow us to do all of those. And then just produce the other things in the greenhouse until we were able to get enough fields up and going for the pig feed. All right. The mega field is almost done. I think, based on your guys' input and the fact that we want to go big, I think we're going to zip right across over here, and we're just going to bring this field into the mix too. We're going to swing right through here, and we're going to make this all one big field. Now, here's the interesting thing. I swear I had rocks turned on, and I'm not seeing any rocks where I'm plowing at all. There are hemp crops you can add to the map. Yep, saw that. Your silo at the farmyard makes pig food, so it should be easy. Yes, I agree, Mike. And that was one of the ideas behind the pigs. We have to get, I think it's potatoes, beets, canola, and a couple other things. So we just have to make sure we have that stuff. Tommy, not sure what was your bad, but no, whatever it is, I'm not worried about it. Hig got the ground texture. Oak City is set way out in the desert scrub area if you want a less crop-like map. There are crops. Yeah, I actually tried. I loaded up Oak City, and I found the map to just have no direction. You couldn't do arable fields. I get totally that it's meant to be like a small desert-type town, but you couldn't really build a farmyard anywhere. You couldn't run. You needed to own 12 fields. You couldn't plow anything together. You didn't want to run tiny equipment, but you sort of had to. I was excited for Oak City when I saw it. I could not figure out how to play that map successfully. Oh, Miss No Man's Land, Nuke? Yeah, well, that's... I have strong feelings about people converting, mods from FS22 to FS25 without the permission of the modder. And it shouldn't be done. I'm just saying that off camera, if a No Man's Land conversion happened for FS25, I would play it once for the nostalgia. I absolutely miss that map. I actually, we were on vacation. I bring the Xbox, and I play Farm Sim on the Xbox, and I actually went back to 22 and played No Man's Land in August just for that purpose, just to go back and get a fix on that map. That is an incredible map. Are there any VR options for Farm Sim? Can't imagine they'd pass on that avenue. I don't know if there's VR options. We were talking about doing head tracking the other night, and I know that's not VR, but there's definitely some stuff out there. I'm waiting for a decent crop duster for 25. One just came out last week. I don't know how good it is, but there is definitely a crop duster on some of the mod sites. Saja, if you're looking for that. Again, no idea how it's going to work. You can fly a plane in FS? Yeah, well, you're going to be able to drive a boat, I think, in the new DLC, so got lots of stuff coming. Got to plant peas in this monster. Peas, Mike, that's not nice. Yeah, planting peas in this field? Holy, and with the fences? Yeah, that's maybe the last live stream on this map. We'll do peas in here. No issue to Jay. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad map. It wasn't like put together poorly. I couldn't get anything going on it. All right, let's see. Our biggest field is only 180 acres. Most are 100 acres. Hig, didn't you say you do like 1,800 acres or something? So you've got, I mean, that's got to be what, you have 10-ish fields, 15-ish fields. So you're driving a lot. You're driving a lot of equipment around between. Speedboat drag racing sounds like a blast. It's like when you go into the mod hub and you see the Ferraris and the Bugattis on the mod hub. Like, they're only there for drag racing. Parsnips with a non-mod harvester. Yeah, Nuke, you and Mike in cahoots to get me to do things that I would regret. That would be a 12-hour live stream. Okay, so either like maybe the last stream on this map will do peas or parsnips, or if I ever get talked into a 24-hour stream, which I don't think I'll ever do because I can't stay awake. I'd be asleep. You guys would be watching me snore on my desk. You know, we'll do parsnips to keep things going. Something to do while you're waiting on the crops. Yep. The mods, I don't get the tanks and missile launchers. Yeah, the tanks and the missile launchers. Absolutely. So, hey, let's do this. Let's hit park. And you guys can see the park feature. So, this guy should park all on his own. Well, we got to get the Dodge out of the way. That's on me. Oh, you want to know what? We're not going to move the Dodge out of the way. You know why? Because I remember I did this last night as a test. And the duals on the Fent don't make it under the shed. So the fence got to go, and the Dodge will park the plow. And I think it might be time to see what we want to plant in that giant field, or at least get it limed. So we'll get connected up here. Cleaned up. And we'll get put away. You guys can see here, I'll turn it on. I did put an alternate course out here. So when it goes to park, it comes way further out so it could be straight when it comes through. The primary course was just a bit too close for that corner. The stuff was not getting squared up. 3,800 and a lot of travel. I mean, do you guys just have a semi truck full of diesel? Just, I mean, filling everything. I mean, that's the thing that I think about farming that is hardest for me to understand, is like the amount of fuel required for that has got to be just insane. Where do you get that Dodge? This Dodge is on King Mods. So Jordan, first off, welcome in, glad to have you. If you join my Discord, and there's a link in all the YouTube videos, I have a chat channel for each of the series, including the live stream. And today I got the mod list built for the live stream. So if you join the Discord and go right to the live stream, I'm sorry, the Backroads County chat, the pinned comment in that chat is a link to the Google sheet that has the name and the links for all of the mods. Can hear your enjoyment in your videos and had just confirmed it watching live tonight. Thanks for the engagement and have a great rest of your night. Hey, Tommy, thank you so much for stopping in. So glad you found me. So glad you stopped in. Thank you for chatting. I love interacting with you guys. I hope you have a great night too. Nuke, Carrots, yeah, Nuke and Mike, you guys, we might have a Nuke or Mike rule in the chat because you guys are full of bad ideas. It's all right here. You guys south do way more. It's big for this area though. Have a good one, Tommy. Yeah, Mike, I agree. All right, so pig, we're not going to forget to feed the pigs. Let's go look at the production silo and see what we have to do there. Let's get those pigs fed. Wow, wanted to connect the diesel all the way out here. Eventually there will be clips of farming. That would be really cool. And hey, by all means, you like that type of stuff you guys want to put in Discord, you want to like Discord, if you want to come over and post like your farm videos, that would be super cool. Like feel free to do that if you ever want to. That would be really, really cool to see, because this is a game that's a lot of fun, but the real world stuff is absolutely mind-blowing. All right, so the supply factory pig food recipe. Corn, barley, sunflower, sugar beets. Guys, I don't want to do sugar beets. This is why we don't do pigs. Oh, goodness. Okay, so corn, we know we're going to plant corn. That's not a problem. Barley, we can plant as well. We should have put barley in instead of wheat in that back field. That's what we should have done. Can we rip barley into that field? Barley is plantable today, guys. I think we're ripping out the wheat and putting in barley. Okay, well, decision made. And then we'll do corn because we can chaff some corn, we can dry some corn, we can do all kinds of things with corn. So actually, while we're getting in here, we have a dedicated planter rig. Let's go grab our 9RT. Yeah, Hig, Discord is one of those things, I still don't really understand Discord. Love it, it's great, but Discord is something that I never had, like, growing up or anything else. I never really understood what Discord was about, but hey, it works, it's great. We have some just great conversations on there. A good time. And, you know, it's just one map. Yep. So that's crazy. We have the narrow tracks on the front. So they're not destroying the crop, but the wheels on the planter are destroying the crop. That's incredible. Yeah, Mike, I'm down for that. I can drop that channel in anytime. I mean, adding channels is like 3 clicks. That's no big deal. Poppenberger V2 4K. I have not seen that one, Isaac. I'll have to look at that one. All right, we have barley. So we're going to try to get this done. Since you already did the work, maybe just easy dev switch. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're putting this guy on course play, and it's going to go well. We're going to get it figured out. I do have an idea about the course play. So let's try to get course play up here and running real quick. So my thought about course play is number headlands 2, rounded 0, perfect. My thought about course play is this, because I've messed with the settings, and like I said, last night or yesterday afternoon we got off stream right into the first tree. Hig, come on, we're thinking positive. We got grass in the cow barn, but then we couldn't put cows in it. I couldn't find the animal dealer for most of the stream, and now we are going to have wild amounts of success with our 8RT getting this stuff planted. So my thought about the problem with the, how do I get that to go away? I need the 8RT to go away. My thought is when it does its headlands and it's going, it doesn't matter, but say it's going along the top edge of the field, you know, like right in here. When the first middle row requires it to do a 180-degree turn to start, like to get back to the first inner row, I think that's when it's getting lost. Because this guy actually planted this field yesterday without issue. So I'm wondering, did we Harvard Forest NPC? So we didn't even save this. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna plan on success. That's what we're gonna do. They just listed all the reasons to expect you to hit the first tree. Okay, that's fair. I'll give you that. But hey, I even remember to turn on the invisible roller and I didn't disconnect it and lose it in the ground, because that's going to happen. And when it does, you're going to see me get frustrated on stream for the first time, because the only part about this mod that just drives me nuts, the invisible roller is great, but when it falls off and the pallet doesn't have the collision and it goes into the ground and I can't get it out of the ground, I end up just buying a new one. I just don't even mess with it. So, all right, we're going to let this guy work. We're going to assume that it's going to go well. We're going to have a little bit of wheat there on the outside of the field. 8RT is a nice planting rig. It works well, so can hardly complain about that. So, thinking out loud here, I wish... Keep an eye out, Hig. I'm a machinist and have built ag water pumps for the last 20 years. I don't get to see much real farming, so I've always been curious. Wow, Nuke, 20 years building ag water pumps. That's impressive. Nice work. That is that's one of those critical jobs. You don't have water on a farm, you're in trouble. Oh wow, didn't know you can unhook it. That seems infuriating, and the nerve to make it invisible on top of that. So Mike, the pallet does reappear when it disconnects. So it shows up as a pallet, but the pallet's in the ground and you can't get it to move. Duke of Hazard police cars, Isaac. I think that goes back to Rob's comment about drag racing cars in Farm Sim. I think that is the challenge there. Here's what we're going to do real quick. I'm going to jump here and I'm going to save, and I want to go get those greenhouses. I want the greenhouses that I planned on having in here tonight. We're going to load out. I'm going to find the greenhouses, figure out why they aren't in my game save. They should be. There's no reason they shouldn't. And then figure out putting a place in, and we'll just start producing the beets to start with, and then we'll be able to get a little bit of pig food going, and we'll take the greenhouses out once the fields are ready to go. See, we don't use water up here like the States. Yeah, Rob loves the Dukes of Hazzard police car. I knew that'd get him back in the chat. Out west does. We don't here in Eastern Ontario. Now even more curious. Yeah, it's funny, we go out to Colorado, and when we're flying into the Denver airport, all the farming out there in the plains is based on pivots. So all the fields out there, they buy these big square pieces of land that were divided by the county, 50 years ago, but then they're all round fields because there's no water, and if the pivot can't reach it, it just doesn't grow. All right, so we did do the boosted greenhouses. We have the multi-crop greenhouses installed. Why are they not showing up? That's a weird one. Gonna uninstall and reinstall the multi-crop greenhouses and just restart the game, and then we should be good to go. I bet I know why the multi-crop greenhouses didn't load in, because I didn't select them when I started the game. Let's see. 2,150 subscribers. I can't remember a post you made about hitting I remember posting about hitting 1,000 not long ago. That's awesome, man. Congrats. Hey, Mike, I really appreciate it. I've said, I mean, I love creating content for you guys, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of people say this, but you guys are the best community. I mean, it makes it all worthwhile. You know, I love the interaction. I love, you know, being able to engage with you guys. I love the feedback, you know, and that's, I mean, like the Homestead Challenge series is 100%. That whole series, the start of that was based on feedback I got from the community. You know, I put a poll up for the members and they voted and we chatted about it and they gave me the idea. And I mean, literally from like, because I had the hand pushable tools on the realistic cattle ranch, we were using the water tanker and the cart, the flatbed cart, to move bales around to the calf huts. So we'd already sort of played with that a little bit. We talked about it. And some of the guys looked up the pack and were like, hey, what if you did like a, you know, start from scratch series, but you really started from scratch? And, you know, that series has done absolutely tremendous things for the channel. And yeah, I mean, I came up with the rules once we had the series started, but I mean, that idea was from you guys. So it is absolutely, you know, I'm so glad to have all you guys in and part of the channel and everything else. So thank you guys for being here. You know, I was thinking if I got 1,000 subscribers the first year I was putting content up, it was going to be great. And we've blown that out of the water. And that is just absolutely mind-boggling to me. So thank you very much for being here, guys. And thanks for being part of the community. I'm 50 hours into my Homestead Challenge using your rules. Rob, nice work. That's good. I think I'm at, like I said, I just recorded episode 17. And year one was brutal. You and I talked about year one. Rob, your choice to mow every bit of grass in the rain and then have your bales melt and crash your barn. Some of that was self-inflicted. Now, the barn conflict, I agree, that was not your fault. Rob posted some pictures in the Discord, and he had this aerial shot, and every bit of grass on his plot had been hand mowed. I think he took like an entire live stream and just mowed like for 6 or 7 hours, more than a live stream, and then hand baled it. And they were all melting in the field because of the rain. They were all disintegrating. And then he finally got him into a barn. And when he went to take him out, there was some sort of conflict because the hand baler bales are smaller, and he could only get one bale out of, 3 hours of your first stream. Rob, how many bales were in your barn that you had to take out one at a time to salvage that? I forget what you posted, but it was, I can only imagine, 400 bales, one at a time. Rob spent hours and hours pulling all that stuff out. All right, so we have the correct greenhouses in here now. These are the ones I wanted. I just forgot to click the mod when we loaded in tonight. So what we want to do in order to get the pig food started, we are going to do pig food on the fields long term, but we're going to drop a couple of these greenhouses in so we can get this stuff started. So we're going to do one that does barley and corn. I'm not sure that Rob didn't rage quit. I think he may have and come back, but he posted pictures, and it was, I mean, the picture of the grass mode was tremendous. The baling was just so much work, and then the rain hit, and it was a comedy of errors, and poor Rob suffered just because he was he had realistic livestock installed, he had all the things, and it was a challenge. So we definitely want this one to be left-sided. This is the one with the bollards on the outside. And then we need the root crop. Not this one, is it? Does this one do root crops? Let's see, it's one of these. Okay, here we go. So here's the root crop. We need to switch this one to a left-sided spawn because we want the spawns all together in the middle there. And then we need to move it over just enough that it doesn't overlap. Right there. Perfect. All right. So these ones, this is what I was trying to show you guys earlier. You come in and you see the bollards are on this side. The little pillars come up out of the ground. So on the inside of each greenhouse, you have this switch right here. You see the little switch? And if I click that, the bollards pop up. And that stops the pallets from spawning on the outside. Now on the right-sided greenhouse, the button's right here on this side. You can see it right there. Push it, and they come up. So now none of these will produce pallets. It'll all be stored or distributed. The other cool thing about this mod, when you do the grain crops, they also produce straw, so they're fun to use like on small farms as well. My PC would end up in pieces, outside in pieces. Yeah, it was Mike. I joked about that. Then PB said I'd look out the window and see bales coming out of my PC. Yeah, I did tell you if you threw your PC out, the bales would still be escaping. Yep, Isaac, that's it. The hand pushable machines pack. The version 5, the most recent update, allows AI workers, so that is a really cool feature. Well, you're sort of explaining because I didn't know that was that bad. Props to you though for sucking it to it. Make it much more rewarding. Higgs, I'm kind of jealous of everything on one farm, in one farmyard. We have stuff spread all over 5 main farms. Yeah, the whole driving farm equipment around stuff, that's got to be just insane. So let's grab, I want to label these. Always label my greenhouses so I remember which one is which. Green, grain and craft large. We'll name this one 1. This one should be different, so it shouldn't be a big difference, but we want to know that it's the first one that we put down. All right. Very, very cool. So let's jump back into the menu and let's get these guys started. Now, these ones don't have automatic watering. So we need barley for the pig food. We need corn for the pig food. We don't want it selling, we want it distributing. And then out of this one, we jump in the other menu. We want, is it sugar beets? Is that what we're supposed to be selling here? Oh, and sunflowers. That's the other thing we need. All right, so now we can do pig food, and all of that should be distributing. So if we come back over here and we were to look at our supply factory for the pig food, corn, barley, sunflower, sugar beets, perfect. We have 2 greenhouses that will take care of that for us. We need a tanker. That's what we need. Where are we in the chat? Let's make sure I don't lose anything. It's not a problem until you meet other people on the roads. Yeah, I can imagine, like, the size of that equipment trying to go down a road can be an absolute nightmare. Double checking that you're using the greenhouses for the root crop, right? Yes. Never mind, should wait 15 seconds, just explaining it now. Mailboxes and guardrails. Yeah, so that's what I like about that mod, that greenhouse mod pack. And so this one is, and again, it's in the list on Discord, but it is the multi-crop greenhouse mod. And so there's 3 separate greenhouses for each type. So you see there's 3 $50,000 ones here. One is the vegetable, which does all the base game stuff, plus like you see potatoes down there, peas and green beans. Then there's the grain one that does all of your cereal crops. I mean, I guess it'll do bamboo too, but corn, soybeans, cotton, and then your last one is your oils. I'm sorry, where did that one go? I scrolled the wrong one. Let's see. And then the oil one down here does some of your root crops. So yeah, this is a cool mod. This is the one I'm using on 555 for our artisan oils that we're producing as well. Mailboxes and guardrails, yeah. Are those the ones? Yeah, 555 you can fill with a grain cart. Yep, that's the cool part I like about that one, Mike. So when you do the grain crops, all of the crops that aren't base game greenhouse stuff, so your base game greenhouse stuff, your Napa cabbage, your lettuce, your tomatoes, all that kind of stuff, that has to spawn in pallets or be distributed directly. But all of the rest of the crops will either spawn in pallets that should be hand liftable, or if you put the bollards up, you can come fill a tipper from the spout of any of those crops. So they're very nice that way. Do they have dual steering header trailers on FS25? Pig, I gotta be honest with you. Header trailers and I don't get along. We had a whole, all day Sunday, all day yesterday afternoon, I was fighting the header trailers. As far as I know, they do not. We are using the Retriever trailer, which is a gooseneck modified with an implement mount on the back to actually get us some stability, because the in-game base header trailers have very narrow wheels at the front and slightly wider at the back, which I know is realistic to real life. But the headers, the long ones, just tip over everywhere you drive, no matter what you do. So I'd like to point out that we don't have any errors on our barley field. We also haven't, made it around one headland. So let's probably go check and see if there are any trees that might have produced themselves on the field and gotten in the way. Not in... Oh, you want to know what happened? I left the game and came back and didn't restart them. That's what happened. So I can't even blame the worker for what's going on here. That is 100% on me. So let's get our barley field restarted. All right. We're going to see if that works. Yeah, one of the things I wish I'd gotten to experience in the fire service, going back to Higgs' comment, is like a tiller style ladder truck. We got a guy steering at the back. They have those in like San Francisco and places. I would have loved to have one of those at the station, be able to drive. So let's make sure that our shop is right here. I don't want to keep driving back and forth to shop with you guys. That's not getting us anywhere. Hey, there's the air boom applicator. It only does fertilizer, which we don't need. So not buying that one, unfortunately. I do want to see if we have the modified Anthem liquids hauling. This is the one I want. This is my modified one. We got 505 horsepower. We got great capacity. Rear twin wheels. What is our other option here? Wide tires? Yeah, always wide tires. He was just napping. Yeah. He was probably not napping. He's just on TikTok, or he found one of the drunk pavement guys and got into the moonshine with him. Remember when I joined the stream, I still have 2 mowing contracts going, Dakota 16X. I tell you, yeah, so Jay's still mowing grass on Dakota 16X. I think the outside field started at like 300 acres on that map. It's an incredible map. I think we're going to do a multiplayer server on that map at some point. We'll figure that out. Is barley usually a crop that can be planted without cultivating, or is that mod making it possible? That mod is definitely direct drill and does not require any plowing. I believe barley would generally have to be cultivated before planting. At least you can't smell it, Mike. Mike, yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Steel, stainless. I'd like to have my tank colors actually matter. So... are the tank colors going to work? I don't understand why the tank colors are not working on this mod. I have this mod installed on Real Estate Cattle Ranch series and have not had a single problem with colors on the mod. It is bizarre to me that they are not working on this playthrough. But here we find ourselves. Can we at least make the rims the right color? We can make the rims the right color, so that is fair enough. And we have a 25,000 liter capacity standard. We're going to bump that straight to 100,000 liter capacity. Yeah, let's go with a chrome tank since we're not getting any colors. May as well. 80K plus delivery. We have a tanker truck. Here is our Anthem liquid handling truck. I wish they'd updated the front steer tires with something a little more aggressive when we went to the wide tires, but here we go. I mean, we were talking about the difference between FS22 and FS25. That reflection in the back of the tanker, that could not have happened in FS22. Just incredible graphics. Maybe an issue with the sale, have a few mods that are like that off the sale only. Huh. Yeah, I did. I gotta remember. So on this playthrough, I'm running the vehicle sales system customizer, which is a mod I've been using. That mod has been giving me problems on the Homestead Challenge on New Frontier. So I switched over to, and Rob may have even been the guy who pointed it out to me, but the extreme used sales mod. And I switched over to that today and go from there. So I know that the vehicle sale customizer that we're using on this map has had some issues with some of the latest updates. So that you're absolutely right. That could be it. So put in this mod. Again, that's on the mod list, the water house. So we're getting like a pump house kind of idea here. I think what we want to do is put the pump house somewhere out on this edge of our stuff right there. I think with that in mind, what we end up doing here, just to finish off a little bit of the landscaping, let's go ahead and fill that in, fill this in, grab some grass. Okay, then we come over here, and you know what I have? Haha. I've been wanting to use this. This is one of my favorite decoration mods from FS22, and it just got converted and released for FS25. But there is this rock pack, and I love dropping rocks on the farm. Now, these are not crushable. They don't turn in. They're not like contract rocks. They're just giant. If you hit them with your vehicle, they don't move rocks. They're cheap. They're enormous. And you find, I mean, some of these are just absolutely silly. But I wonder if we could find a rock. That one's too small. Too small. I want something a little bigger. What do we got? Oh, I thought that was going to be it. They're either huge or they're not big enough. Give me something like there, like medium-sized. A nice rock to make sure we pay attention to where we're driving and don't run into things. And then again, do a quick shrub count there. And then we'll maybe even do a tree or two. Something a little bigger than that. Something like this. Right in here. And we are getting good with the landscaping to sort of frame out this area here. And then maybe drop a couple of trees in. Something big to offer a little bit of shade around our greenhouse. Obviously, you want your greenhouses to be in the shade. That's why you put greenhouses up. And what do we have here? Something on the smaller side. That's not really on the smaller side, but hey, and for J, there's a rotate. Okay. All right, so our greenhouse area is starting to get filled in. Got some landscaping. Let's head over. Check out some in-cab on the Mac. Nice model in here. Basic. Work truck. Lots of plastic. There's our big rock. That's what we wanted. Now, I did modify the water house. So I don't know what the fill rate's going to be, but we will see how quickly this goes. A 16x map. Co-op would be cool. 8 people working in the field. Some driving augers. Some grain cart haul size. Yeah. Yeah, so Mike, that would be the thought, like on a 16x map, would be getting a bunch of guys in to do that kind of stuff. Can you change the plastic tank or just steel? Yeah, Hig, I changed it. It's not taking the color. I wonder if Nuke's right and it's because it's in the sale that it's acting goofy. Because I said I have this mod on other playthroughs, and on the Realistic Cattle Ranch, it's green, and I painted it. It's not a problem. And the green works on the metal and on the plastic as well, so... okay, I've never been part of a YouTube live stream before, BP. Can anyone explain the XP? Is there something that can be done with it or just for show or whatever? That's a great question. That is way beyond my my expertise, because I'm on this side of the camera, I guess would be my answer to that. My understanding is that the XP, there may be things that I can unlock on YouTube where like you guys can get like mini games and free stickers and that kind of stuff with the XP to just sort of play in chat. So if there's features like that that you see or come across or someone knows, let me know, because I'm happy to turn that kind of stuff on. Just don't have any experience with it, so can't speak directly to what to be done with that. So rocks are not good to hit. Hig, that's an important lesson. As a man who has said you move a lot of farm equipment around, I'm glad that you are the one that understands that hitting rocks is the wrong choice. It's a good thing to avoid them. Yeah, those are mountains. Yeah, I love some of those big rocks. They're a lot of fun. You can do some building with them. You can do some landscaping stuff with them, bring the ground up and fill in around it with the big rocks, make it look like the Rocky Mountains, that kind of stuff. This is becoming my favorite farm build of yours. It's coming together perfectly. Yeah, Mike, I love building farms. On the series, it's harder because a lot of it has to be functional, and we have to make sure that, you know, we're basically building it within the rules. This, we can just freeform. This is like when I was talking earlier about, like, you know, my game plan No Man's Land in FS22. I mean, I had road systems and trees, and you just built like a small city out of everything. So let's figure out what we want to do with some lime. There is the boom applicator, the air boom applicator I was talking about. It does not do lime, so that is going to be a waste. We need something that does lime in a big way. The Colossus is probably going to be the best option. We'll check the sale real quick and see what we can find, if there's any alternatives, and then go from there. Let's see. Unrealistic. None of those are sprayers. Yeah, I'm thinking there's going to be nothing in here for lime, and we could, like, this little guy will do. It doesn't even, I don't even have the lime, extended lime mod added on, because that doesn't work. Okay, nothing there. We're getting back into the old stuff. I'm pretty sure there's nothing down here. Yeah. Let's go check real quick in the mod hub and see if I downloaded anything that might work. So we have, this thing was super cool. But again, the capacity is so low. This thing has, if you haven't seen the release of this, that is a clamshell style scoop that is permanently mounted to the trailer. So you put bulk lime in like a hopper or a bunker, and you can drive over to this, pop that clamshell out, and scoop it up and load it in. That is really a cool mod for some realism and, you know, loading stuff by hand. Not sure that's going to work for us. I do have my modified spreader in here. That may be the best and quickest option just to get that done. Otherwise, we're using one of the Colossus with the unrealistic 42 meter. This one does manure too. That is crazy. All right, let's see. Windstorm tree falls on a glass greenhouse. Oh, for sure. For sure. Every one of those greenhouses is dead. Yeah, there's no way. Dump truck dumps the lime in the field. Okay, cool. So that's the real world application for that. So they would dump it on, like, on the field or on the field edge or whatever, or near the field, and then you just drive by and pick it up. Because I have to imagine that the idea that in Farm Sim that you use so much more lime than fertilizer, that has to be somewhat realistic in real life, where you just get a boatload of lime delivered to spread on the fields or whatever chemical you're dropping down. And the quantity is such that that type of thing is necessary. Let's grab this. It's easy. It's fast. It holds 40,000 liters. Protection kit, yes. Simple supports. Support with casters, so that'll give us the wheels on the bottom here. Cover, yes. And then the working width. The thing I like about this is that we can adjust the working width. So that'll go up to 50 meters instead of 42 like most of the spreaders. So that is done. 20 grand plus a delivery fee. Not a big deal. Yes, but we just use a loader tractor to load. But that's a great idea. I can imagine, like, Hig, I would imagine that having a piece of equipment like that is so specialized and having a bunch of extra hydraulics and buckets and controls and everything else, like, that wagon becomes unusable if a simple hydraulic hose gives out. So having to maintain that and already having a loader, yeah, expensive. You know, you're already maintaining the loader, so why not just use the loader that you're maintaining and probably using on a more daily basis than, you know, it's like when you have a kitchen tool, right? You buy something for the kitchen, it only does one job. Like, it's no good. Everything's got to serve multiple purposes for one-time use per year. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so So hey, look, you know, I understand how some things work. Not a lot of things, but we've got some basic ideas of how this stuff could happen. All right, we did remove our bulk fill station when we put in the shed over there the other night. So let's go ahead and drop one of those back in right over here. Head over to containers. And we want the farm fill station. This one has the lime. Then we're going to offset it a little bit here. Just so that if we need to cut the road in more, we can. Once again, just going to make this a little bit more accessible here. That is the wrong gravel. Okay. Excellent, excellent. All good to go. I love the dual narrows. That they've got to be the silliest the silliest what am I trying to do here? I can't get this thing to open. What key am I supposed to be using here, guys? Nope, that's lower. Distracted. Hold on here, guys. 1 second. Let's see. X, what's open? Got some sort of weird control here. I don't have key bound properly. Lower. Maybe we just pull up and it opens on its own? Then we just solve the problem on our own? Ah, look at that. Okay, did I buy this thing and it only does fertilizer? After that whole discussion about buying something that does lime? I bet I did. I bet you I did. Yep, only does fertilizer. Oh, that is classic. Well, you know what? This thing now only does fertilizer. I really want to do something different than the base game stuff, but I guess we're going to do the Colossus because at this point, that's all we got left. For one time a year, you're doing really good to not be a farmer. Well, hey, you know, I can try to figure a few things out here and there. I know the narrow twin tires are funky, but look so funky. I agree. I love the narrow tires. Love them. I second that, Higgs. I thought he was a farmer when I first started watching. So did I. I like the realistic stuff. Hey, well, you know, apparently you fake it till you make it, and maybe someday I'll be lucky enough to be a farmer. Until then, I got to just be a YouTube content creator. So, narrow tires, U.S. design capacity 2x. We need more than that. 100K for sure. Let's go with white because it's going to be a lime spreader. And we'll dark out the frame. Dark Moon, one of my favorite colors introduced to the game by 82 Studios. The Dark Moon color is an incredible deep black. Has a little bit of flat finish to it as well. So that makes it nice on the equipment. So there we go. I love the inner and outer rim colors. Let's see. Inner. Do we want to do... Do we want to do white on the outer rim or the inner rim? No. No, that looks too much like some sort of car with spinners. All right. Nice and easy. I couldn't make it as a farmer. I can't even garden anymore. I miss growing things. Well, Jay, I mean, grass is your nemesis, so that doesn't help if you're trying to be a farmer. I will let Hig answer your question, Mike, because speaking in front of an expert would only make me look worse. But I assume it has to do with soil chemicals. Corn kills ground. So I assume, Hig, that that's why we have to plow between every corn harvest to try to get the soil to be better as well. Now, guys, I just want to point out, we're not really going to look over here, but if you were to look in the background behind us, the 8RT has transitioned from the center rows, or from the outer row, the headlands to the outer rows, and there has not been an incident. Now, I don't know why that is, but, you know, we don't ask questions when things work out. So, lime, here we come. I'm interested to see, well, we're down to $120,000. We've been spending a lot of money tonight. Oh, that's a really interesting point, Hig. So the higher a crop grows, the more it takes out of the soil. So peas are just great for the soil because they barely grow at all. But corn, got to be some of the worst. I'd never heard that before. I learned something new tonight. Very, very cool. All right, well, let's go get the lime set up on the field that is definitely not going to be a problem. We're going to go ahead and get the lime put in, and it's going to be super easy. And then we'll see where that gets us. I do want to get... The pigs have to be fed. If the pigs aren't fed, then it's Hig's fault, and we don't want it to be Hig's fault. We don't want that on him when he's trying to go to bed tonight, thinking about those poor pigs that have no food. All 6 of the pigs we spent 25 minutes driving around the map to find. Okay, yes, and beans put nitrogen back in. So Higgs, here's a question for you. And hey, if we're putting you on the spot and you don't want to be on tonight because you're doing this in real life, by all means, just you can bow out of the questions anytime. So, like in the game, soybeans don't require any additional fertilizer. Would that be relevant in real life as well? All right, we are here. We're going to create a course. We're going to do 2 headlands. We're going to do no rounded corners. I'm going to turn off JPS Pathfinder, turn up the penalty to 3, activate finding corners. I think everything else is relatively good at this point. Yep, I think that's all good. Now, rows to skip. The 8RT is skipping rows. So, maybe we skip rows. I don't know. Yeah, so cover crops are realistic too. Hey, cool. We're learning all kinds of stuff. This is great. All right, so we have this giant field. This area at the top is not, as I previously stated, not going to be a problem. It's going to be very easy for course play, and it's going to be super successful no matter what we try to do to make sure everything's actually where I want it. Corner radius, overlap down to 5%. Perfect. And we'll generate that course. It's going to take a minute because it's doing a custom field and the combination of 3 fields. That actually looks pretty... Yeah, okay, so Higgs, here you go. So that this little part at the top where it crosses over, that's not going to work because it's going to hit the fence. So we have it on skipping rows, so let's have it not skip rows and see if that makes a difference. Yes, you can, depends on your soil quality before, but we do fertilize everything. Okay, cool. Nicer grew up and live in an urban America, but love the process of farming. Your knowledge is much appreciated. Yeah, I agree, Higgs. Thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge. So for wheat, we spray 4 chemicals at once in the beginning: bugs, weeds, a growth, and also a stunt. And if you hit it fast enough, you'll clear that fence. We both know that if I hit that fence fast enough, we're going to hit farm sim physics, and I'm going to end up with that tractor in the stratosphere, and it's going to be gone, and I have to rebuy it. If you haven't lost a tractor to the stratosphere of farm sim yet, you're not trying hard enough. That should be a badge of accomplishment. So let's go ahead and get him started. This is just 43, 103, 61. We're just going to call this field 61. Create folder. Lime. Okay. So Rob, to go further into your question from the other night, this is another reason to save a course. On a field like this where the field is really, really irregular and we expect to have problems with course play, if I get a course that works, I want to save it so that next time when I go to do it, I'm not recreating a course that doesn't work. Now, if there are a bunch of problems on this course for course play, I will just delete it and then we'll do a new one for next time. So we'll let him work and we'll see if we get stuck. Hey, Higgs knew we're not supposed to hit rocks. You know, if he says hit the fence, then you got to trust the man who knows whether that you're not supposed to hit rocks. So the point of stunt growth keeps the wheat shorter so it doesn't fall over. Oh. Yeah, because I imagine, like, we had, like, a vegetable garden right at the house, and, like, your tomato plants outgrow your cages, then they just end up falling over. What are we producing here? What is... Owned mass is water. Why is it... Why are we producing water pallets, guys? This doesn't make any sense. Yeah, water should be distributing. We don't want water. We don't want water. I'll have to get rid of those in another between episodes. All right, so our water tanker should be full back here. 100,000 liters. At some point, we're going to get some sort of loop that cuts back to the main drag here, but not yet. One contract left, 93% done, 7 hours. That Dakota 16X map is no joke. It is a tremendous map. Love that map. It is, you can spend a day on there getting 2 contracts done. Fence moves, rock don't. Got it. Nuke is learning too. Nuke, I love it. Oh, absolutely, Mike. Absolutely. You know, that's you know, any of the blue collar, the trades, the plumbers, electricians, farmers, all those kind of jobs, things that aren't necessarily glamorous. People don't realize that without the people doing those jobs, none of the things happen. Like the same thing with like truckers, right? I mean, freight gets touched so many times moving wherever its final destination is. It's incredible. Without truckers, without farmers, without plumbers, electricians, I mean, none of the world works. So it's always great to have, you know, that knowledge and have people that can take care of us, because without that, we're all screwed. That's a lot of cutting. Yeah. When I played on the 16X version of the Dakota map, I think I would do like 2 or 3 contracts and make $500,000. I mean, it's crazy. Mike's a truck driver, just sits and drives. Well, Mike, have you hit any rocks recently? Because if you haven't hit any rocks, then you know something too. And it doesn't. And my guess is you haven't hit any rocks. So let's jump in here. We need to figure out if we're going to be able to get the pigs fed today. So it's almost 3 o'clock in game. I don't see us producing enough. I'm trying to think. I don't see us producing enough stuff out of the greenhouses to make pig food. Let's see. If I fast forward time a little bit and actually have the hour turn. Yeah, so we got 10 sunflower, 41 sugar beet, 19 corn. We are definitely not producing pig food today before the end of the episode. And we got to get the pigs fed because Higgs got to sleep tonight. And if he's up worrying about the pigs, then he's not worrying about the farm. If he's not worried about the farm, then people don't eat and people hit rocks and all kinds of bad things happen. So we got to make sure that good things happen here. So let's figure out these water pallets. I'm going to probably have to sell them. I'll probably make $100,000 selling water, which will be silliness. Let's figure out how we're going to get pig food. Maybe we drop a fill station in, a temporary one that we can buy pig food from just for this episode. And then we commit to either making it through the greenhouses with the idea being that long term we make it in the field. Yeah, sure does, Jay. Sure does. It's just content creators that are a waste of human life. Everyone else is doing an important job, but content creators just sitting around all day, they're not worth anything. All right, let's get this temporary fill station in. Yeah, Mike, I mean, you too, by all means. I mean, that's the Discord stuff is not just for Farm Sim. It's not just for my content. That's a community thing. You know, it's been fun. Rob and I had just a great conversation the other night about cars, and he's got a channel too, like a really cool, his resto mod of his Firebird is on there. And we had a really cool conversation, got to chat about cars. I've got an old car, he's got an old car. His car has the same number of cylinders as mine. They're basically the same car. Mine's probably a little faster than Rob's. But you know, I don't want to put him to shame. But you know, it's probably, if we had a drag race in real life, my, you know, 53 Pontiac straight 8, 3 on the tree thing weighs approximately 1 million pounds, and shakes itself half to death at 25 miles an hour, is probably going to smoke his Trans Am, but you know, we don't know for sure. Yeah, you do have to share your fleet. And Rob sent another picture up in the Discord today about a couple of tractors he had. He had a really cool old blue Ford, the JD in the background, and then that Kubota you said you still have. I'd love to see more pictures of that. I need FS25. I thought I would record some of my playing. I figured we'd just show little clips. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And Hig, if you buy FS25, I am a Giants partner, so you can use my content creator code BADPUNKIN. Doesn't cost you any more, helps support the channel, and helps them recognize that I'm putting out good content and supporting the Farm Sim community. So if you don't already own it, that's a great way to do it. I'd appreciate it. Nuke 1960 C10 606 speed, build in progress. Very, very cool. I love old trucks. I think when I get older and I'm like ready for retirement age, or just when the kids are out of the house and everything else, I think I just want like a, not even that old, but like a 70s, like mid 70s to late 80s single cab Chevy, Ford, something like that to just drive around in, something that I don't have to worry about, all mechanical, no ECUs, PCUs, computers, modules, sensors, all that kind of crap. I think it'd be a lot of fun to just have a lot of fun just driving an old car. 100 horsepower sounds mean. I don't think from the factory it was 100 horsepower, and I think by the time it's at the stage it's at now, I think if it has as much horsepower as that barn find JD I'm using on Homestead at 50, we would be in good shape. Oh, you already bought a Hig? No worries, buddy. No worries. Oh, our 6 pigs came running in to eat. What did I miss from Nuke? Oh yeah, 610. Nuke, you ain't lying, brother. Nothing worse than a Nissan Altima cutting you off, coming up to a red light, and thinking 80k pounds can stop on a dime. Yeah. Yeah, people are dumb with the big trucks. Big block with a carb. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, by all means, all you guys feel free to join the Discord, and then, you know, that gives you the links to the multiplayer server. Jump in there, play that stuff, enjoy it. It is a good time. So we got some pig food in. I'm wondering if they need some water. Oh, we do not want to do that, guy. You don't want to turn there. We're trying to get you to park. Let's go check on the pigs. All right, he'll park on his own. Good to go. We got another mess in the yard here. We're going to have to put up some more sheds. So, pigs have 23,475 liters of food, which for 6 pigs should be more than enough. They've already produced 94 slurry. They have no straw. They have no manure and no straw pellets. That's something we could get into, guys. We could do some straw pellets for sure. Yeah, Hig, I'll tell you, I played console for 19 and 22, and then switched to PC partway through 22 and played almost exclusively PC for 25. PC Farm Sim is a blast. Absolute blast. Well, yeah, Mike, I agree we could do that, but I'm I'm going to choose to believe Nuke. Only because I think I want to believe him is really what it comes down to. I think that it is just the base game cows that are the problem. Because look, now the menu's correct. See, I've got the buy selected, buy, select all. And when I hit select all, I can still buy selected. Yeah, I think those base game cows somehow didn't get loaded in to realistic livestock, and that created the problem. So I want to try the dairy cow mod barn production thing and see how that goes. So let's do Black Angus, because they produce milk now, so why not get a couple of decent animals. You know what, even better. I have an even better idea, guys. Let's go to our herdsman and let's enable him to buy, and we'll give him a let's call it a $10,000 budget. Max animals, I mean, I don't care. 50? Do we want to go even more? Give him 100? 100 animals. Breed, we're going to go with, Angus. We're going to do just a Black Angus farm. No diseases, any. We don't want anything over 18 months because their value, we won't get it back. And then we want high, highest, very high. So very high and above. Very high and above. Yeah, we're just going to put them all very high and above. And yep, there we go. $10,000 budget, etc., etc. Yep. And we want him to buy only female. Okay. So our herdsman is going to manage our herd in the barn. We have automated the cows. Now we're going to we'll buy some artificial insemination samples later. All right, now here we go. Top right corner. Left the course and stopped and blocked by an object. Do we think that's the 8RT behind me, or do we think that's the JCB on the very simple and easy to use field down at the other end? Well, I think it's not the 8RT, because the 8RT appears to be done with this field. So it looks like we've got a problem with the JCB on the easy field. Started on Xbox, got to PC, then never looked back. Yeah, Mike, same way. Was it you that said something about beeping on auto steer? Not me. Oh my god, it's no big deal. Either way, I always like doing cows. Cows are just easy. That's all. And do we need the roller to unfold? Just a little bit would be great. Okay. Let's go ahead and get folded up. All right, now if we release this guy, now remember, this is the tractor that has all three. What is that mod? Blogstar, welcome in, bud. Haven't seen you yet tonight, but glad you're here. So the herdsman is part of the new realistic livestock version 1.2.0.2 update that is available exclusively on Arrow's GitHub. So realistic livestock is released on ModHub, but the latest version that has all the updated stuff with the artificial insemination, the herdsman, the message center, the marking of animals, and I just made it, there's a 10-minute video on the channel with all the updates if you want to catch that too, is you have to get that directly from his GitHub. It is not on the ModHub yet. So yeah, Higgs, I hate the noises too. Someone I was listening to complained about the beeping, but you're getting the front. Oh, when you're using the in-game GPS. Yep. Rob, great to see you. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to be wrapping up in a little bit here, too. Really appreciate you hanging out tonight. Thanks for being here. Good night, Rob. Yep. Have a good one, Rob. See you next time. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, so Blockstar, it's all part of the realistic cattle, or the realistic livestock mod from Arrow. Check out the video on the channel. I linked to his GitHub. You can find it in there. Just remember, when you log into the game, you'll get an error saying you have an out-of-date mod. It'll say it's the realistic livestock mod, and just don't update it when you load your game. Work before 6. Hey, Hig, thanks for hanging out. Loved having you. Appreciate all the conversation, all the knowledge. Taught us all something tonight. And, you know, the lesson for tonight's stream, guys, if you didn't catch it earlier, Hig dropped some massive knowledge on us, and I mean that seriously, but the best comment was, hitting rocks is bad. And I think those are all words we can live by, and we'll all be better people for it if we don't hit rocks. So, Hig, have a great night, buddy. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you being here, and can't wait to have you get a PC, get on Farm Sim 25, and I'd love to have some IRL farm videos. You know, whether it's your channel, you can share the link on the Discord or put them in the Discord, whatever works for you. Would love to see what some stuff, you know, Dirt Ripper, you as well. Love to see that kind of stuff. So thanks for hanging out. Oh, and hey, you're welcome for the vids. The vids are the easy part. Content creation is easy. Now, guys, I don't want to cause panic, but I think we lost the JCB. I'm not entirely sure that that's the case, but it looks like it came down here and then went somewhere. I don't have any. Okay, I mean, let's start with the map. Okay, he's all the way down in this corner. He stopped here, but it looks like on the map he's all the way down in this corner. Now, you guys did notice, yeah, Bloxer, I agree. You guys did notice, Pig waited until I fed the pigs to go to bed. He was worried about the pigs. So I appreciate him taking care of our pigs for us. All right, so JCB, what in heaven's name are you doing down here? Just more course play. Mike, I was just about to say, wow, good job on the line, but never mind. Yeah, well, we all knew this field, the field that you and Nuke want me to plant carrots and parsnips and peas in, and it would require me to be down here for hours and hours at a time. We can't even get the lime spreader to run around the outside of the field without wiping out into the deep corner on the far end. So, oh, Hig, he didn't leave. He's still worried about the pigs. We got him fed. They'll be good till morning, I promise. So let's get this guy back on track. Didn't even make the headlands. I really am surprised we can't remove that fence. That is... I'll take a look at that between episodes. I believe Jay. Jay knows this stuff. He's not led me astray on anything. So, just can't imagine. The fact that the object hider, the map hider mod doesn't work on that. It's like it's part of the base game or something. It's just... It's weird that it was put in that way. Who knows? All right, where is this guy supposed to be? I thought it was going to be up here. But we have to find his last spot on the course. Yeah, so he came down here. Mike, that's a very good question. My understanding, and this is where my farm sim knowledge is definitely lacking. My understanding is that because it's not, if it was a placeable, the hide map object mod would work to make it go away. So my understanding is that means it is part of the map, like physically part of the map, like a road or something else. And the only way to change that is to go into Giant's editor And Giants Editor it may as well be in Spanish for me. I've downloaded it. I've watched a number of YouTube videos. There's a couple of mods that I'd like to make some changes to just make them more livable and usable for me, but they require going into Giants Editor, and I can't figure it out. It is just literally, I've watched videos, and I even tried to just replicate what they're doing, and I can't figure that stuff out. So it's in there somewhere. I don't know, but no, I don't think it's something that we can deal with on like the XML end, like a mod, because I think it's part of the map there. So who knows? All right, Nuke says it might be possible. We tried Nuke. I'll give it a try again. Man, I'd love to get rid of it. Yeah. Giants Editor, and I have a degree in computer science. And Giants Editor it's beyond my skill set. Oh, I'm Eastern, so it's midnight for me. All right, so let's take a quick look and try demo mode one more time. Come in here, go to demo mode, hit B, remove item. Yeah, I'm not getting any kinds of hits. And I even went around the map, or around the fence, and tried to figure out if there was like maybe a single trigger point that has it here. And there might be. It's one of those things that it could be like an entire object, but it's only one point actually exists. The rest of it just sort of is there in the first state, Mike says. Well played. Well played. The Blogstar, you must be, let's see, that would be what, Mountain Time? You're 2 hours behind? Could be in Arizona. Isn't Arizona still silly about daylight savings time? Weren't they one of the states that was weird? It's like Indiana for the cow milking and Arizona because they wanted to be difficult for some reason. Oh, you're ahead. Oh, I see. Well, welcome in from down under. Yeah, I'm not getting the map. Nuke, we won't hold that against you. Yeah. Yeah, the fence is what the fence is. It is not cooperating. No deleting it. Usually, if you get it to get that little color change, you can get a little bit of success on it, but nothing here. Maybe I'll figure it out between episodes. We'll see. Right now, the JCB is back up and running. Oh, Tuesday night. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was skimming and didn't see the whole comment. All right, last project for tonight. I want to put a long... Oh, we don't have enough money for it. Last project for tonight is not going to be what I just said. The last project for tonight is going to be possibly a hay shed or a hay barn so we can get those bales out of the rain. I don't have realistic weather installed on this one. Didn't want to mess with it just in case we loaded in and had extremely dense fog for 9 hours and 6.5 feet of snow. That wouldn't make... I mean, it could be an incredible live stream. We could just plow snow for 6 hours, which I love plowing and blowing snow in Farm Sim, but that could get old real quick. But let's see if we can find a bale mod, and then we need to put some bales in the sheep pen and in the cow pen, and we gotta get the cows fed. That is the last thing we have to do. So can we, while I'm sitting here, can we be making TMR? So let's see, we can make silage. Holy goodness, you guys see this? Hold on a second. We made pig food way too hard. If I make silage, I get pig food. You guys see this? 100 grass. This is insanity. 100 grass makes 50 digestate, 100 silage, 30 methane, 25 pig food, and 25 chaff. Okay. I mean, we're going to do that. That's going to be the easiest decision we made all night. And then we got the same thing for hay and the same thing for chaff. That is, yeah, that's incredible. So then We need to make hay, which we can do here, which also makes chaff. Holy goodness, guys. I did not realize this mod was so incredibly overpowered. That's perfect for his live stream schedule. Nuke dinner and then BP live stream. What a night. Worth a shot, man. Doesn't hurt to ask, just in case. What did I miss, Mike? He's in the future. Oh, Powerball numbers. Yeah, hey, you know what? I'll make you guys a deal. We win the billion. We'll split it amongst the chat. If you're here, you deserve it. We'll split it up. It'll be fun. But you gotta play to win. I hear that's an important part. So we're making hay. We're making silage. What does it take to make TMR? Straw and mineral feed. So we need to go buy some mineral feed and put a bunch of straw into the mixer, and then we have TMR, and guys, we have pig food, so we can get rid of all those extra greenhouses. We can, actually, we didn't have to replant the barley field at all. We're going to have pig food because we have my favorite animals, the cows. Let's grab this guy here. Yeah, seriously, Hig, that was crazy. Oh, Nuke, I'm glad you got lucky and found us. Yeah, I didn't really look at that mod when I grabbed it. I just grabbed a silo. And I like silos that do a couple things. So I was like, yeah, that's sort of fun. Is a new front left headlight. Yeah, they got like the purple lights in there. This mod had some funny options on it initially. Let's see. Yeah, I got like the projector lenses almost. All right, let's finish loading up here. Yeah, start there. Don't mind, we got the noisy trailer again, guys. Will this take bales? It should. Okay, doesn't take bales, that's okay. There actually should be straw in there, I think, now that I think about it, from the wheat field harvest. Head down here. May as well see about getting some straw into... Okay, well, you know, that's what happens when it's midnight and you're not paying attention. We are going here. Is it because there's one on here? Get the one off. Get all of our bales picked up. I mean, because you rammed the Wilson trailer. Oh, I got you, Hig. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's after midnight. You told me not to hit rocks, and I'm not hitting rocks, but I didn't say anything about hitting the Wilson trailer. You typed crash counter before I could type my sentence. That is, speaking of Farmer Cop, that is one of my favorite Farmer Cop features, is the crash counter on his stream. So let's see if this plan came together better than we imagined. It did not. Hoping that maybe pulling through the gate would get us in the trigger. So where is the trigger for the bales? It's got to be right in here, right? Yeah, I think maybe it does not take bales. Let's grab this one and just see. We might need a straw blower. If that's the case, then we'll just grab some loose stuff out of the silo and bring it over. No, it takes it. We're just not over it. So, how good is my driving tonight after just crashing into the Wilson? Probably not good. But we'll see if we can get some of these bales unloaded into that trigger. Alright, so let's get the menu up. Let's go over to unload side left. We want that to be right. Unload. Are we really not taking the bales? That's a weird one, guys. Is it full? Does it not hold that much? Straw, 45,000. It's full. Okay. Well, wasn't pretty. But Rob's bales made it into the pig pen. At least it wasn't a rock. All right. Guessing we go right here. Okay, this barn takes a lot more straw. All right, so do we grab the bales and put them into some sort of hayloft? I think we look and see what we have installed and see if we can make sense out of anything in here, and then we'll be wrapping it up for the night here. So containers, we'll go over to silos, scroll on down. This, I have this one installed on the 555. I like that one a lot. For crops. This is one of the mods I want to get installed on this map, is cold storage, so we can get this installed and put our pallets in it and have it be like a cold storage for lettuce and products and bread and butter and all that kind of stuff. Not right now. Got the hay or the pellet system. All right, so I think we're using this one. We can use an open shed. How do we want to frame? Where do we see this playing into the mix? I'm wondering if we put this right here, and then we could have a loop coming back, a road coming back, and do it that way. I know there's an object in the way. Let's get the trailer moved. Heading back over here. Just gonna slide that up there. Just a little bit of super strength. Back to construction. Let's see. Polisher hit. You hit the animal trailer. I saw two, yeah. Have crash camera, yeah. Okay, right, read that. At least it wasn't a rock. Yeah, I saw that one too. Probably have to be on ground. Yep, I agree. Dang, that's what the straw capacity of that cow barn. It's got to be huge. We can go back and take a look at it, but it's got to be huge. But what do you think you're overlapping with? Oh, is the shop area still down? So if you guys don't know, the shop, the deliver goods mod, or the store deliveries mod, counts as a shop, and you can't construct anything near a shop, so that can be a bit of a problem. Now, I need you to be further back, bud. You're going right there, but what color do we want to make him? I don't think we want to go with blue. We've been using onyx for the farm. Let's go with onyx. And that looks sort of brown compared to the other ones. Is that really onyx on this barn? We can go with something darker if we need to. That's going to be green. Maybe go with full-on black. Yeah, that's too dark. So onyx it is. Alright, onyx is going to be our building color for this one. Not sure I'm in love with it on this particular barn, but we will figure all that out. Head over, grab some gravel, and get this put in. Nice wide path leading up to it. Perfect edge for the win. Then we'll round out our corners a little bit, soften them. Go. And then we need to fill in the barn with gravel as well. A little pattern. Perfect. Jay, if you're still in here, did you finish that contract yet? Jay can smell the grass through the game and had to give up. He couldn't do it anymore. All right, so last thing we want to do here is get these cows fed. So we're going to turn on total mixed ration. We're going to put it to storing. What is the fastest way to get something with capacity over here? It's going to be the Punkin Peterbilt. We're going to end up hopefully not with 100,000 liters of mineral feed, because that will be too much. Yes, it finished. How much did it pay out? Yep, I want to know how much it paid out to. I bet it's well into the six figures. 457K for a gas contract. I mean, it took all night. So, you know, it took a long time. So, Jay, the question is, did you keep the grass? Were you using, like, better contracts and stuff? Or did you just cut it and leave it? 6,200 liters of mineral feed for $15,631. We'll get this put into silo. Down to $29,000. I foresee some off-camera contracts in our future. Make some of that money back. I still don't know if it's worth it for 7+ hours. You know, I will say that is the one, I wouldn't say complaint about Dakota. But if you're like a person who wants to go in and like get a whole bunch of stuff done, and then you get into a contract, like, you know, you can cut grass for 7 hours, but you're not farming for 7 hours. So that's why I think multiplayer would be really, really cool on that map, because then you could have a bunch of guys doing that stuff, and you could harvest huge amounts of field. I mean, you could do 1,000-acre harvest on that map with a group of guys on a multiplayer server really, really easily. And it would be fun, too. Let's get this guy going. He is done. I want to crank this up to 300% because we need TMR for the cows before we can get out of here. And I think other than that, we are about done for the night. So taking some of Rob's bales. He went to bed already, but Rob's bales are getting taken over here. We do have 6 sheep, a handful of cows. We have our herdsmen working our cattle for us. So we have that experiment going, and we'll be able to check in on that next time. The next live stream is going to be Thursday at 9:30. There's a chance that I may be back in town. Is it Thursday? 9:30? Yeah, it's Thursday, 9:30. I was gonna say there's a chance to be back in, but that is Thursday. So I was gonna say might add another one this week, but I think let's go Thursday. And then we have what I like to call our European stream Sunday at 1:30 again. That one probably won't be a full 4 hours like the last time. It'll probably be 2.5 to 3 hours. Got some family coming over that night, so it won't be on the whole time. But we'll get a nice several-hour stream in Sunday afternoon as well. Yeah, course play on Dakota would definitely be the way to go. So just saw the notification that the work has been completed. So after getting the JCB back on track, it looks like it finished the job. So if we could figure out why it's getting off track, the actual course seemed to work well. So that would be a course we want to keep to be able to lime that field in the future. So last set of bales going into the bale shed. We'll dump the trailer back here. We will jump down and check on the JCB, get the cows fed, and that is going to be it, guys. We are just pushing the 3.5 hour mark here. It has been a ton of fun. We had some real critical developments. We learned about rocks tonight. Great advice there. I found the animal dealer, which is a personal struggle of mine, and all of you got to come along and offer your support. You know, Mike was keen to point out that I'm 0 for 2, but I did find it eventually. So we're going to claim that it's, like I said, like we're 0 for like 1.5 or 1 3/4. Not quite a full 2, but if I switch maps again, I'm going to have to go in ahead of time and make sure I find the animal dealer. Can't possibly risk going 0 for 3. Yeah, Blogstar, I do have a couple of videos out on courseplay, sort of the beginner stuff, and then some more advanced stuff. When I get more time, I'll be coming back and looking at some auto drive introduction videos, and then obviously we'll do an auto drive and courseplay integration video, how to use them together. So actually I have a question. What key do you hit to open the courseplay menu? That's a great question. So it is, let me get up here and I will look at it. So the short answer, Blogstar, is that is mapped to my Farmstick. So if you're familiar with the Farmstick layout, there are 6 buttons going down each side of the Farmstick. On the left side, the side that's closest to me where my thumb is, the row that is towards the back of the Farmstick is open the graphic user interface, open the courseplay menu, and then the third one is, must be something in the menu. The back set of 3 buttons is start course on the first waypoint, start course at the nearest waypoint, and start course at the last waypoint, and that's what I use. On my keyboard, so my courseplay vehicle settings I have set to insert, and I may have re-keybound it. And my create course is set to my end button. So insert and end are where I have my courseplay buttons on my keyboard if you don't have a Farmstick. Real quick on the way out here, guys, I am going to program the Lime to park in parking spot 3. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to select it. I'm then going to hold Control and right click on the P, or Shift, right? Alt. It doesn't want to work. Huh. Courseplay is getting tired for the night. Yep, does not have a destination assigned. I agree. I agree. Why won't you let me set a destination? Was going to set that to one of our pre-set parking spots, and it was going to work great. And now it does not want to do that. Huh. That's a weird one. Not sure why Colossus is doing that. We'll look at that between streams, but we'll get this guy out of the way. All right. Let's see. Actually, I do have a question. That, along with auto drive, is what makes PC way better, in my opinion. I agree, Mike. We'll count on that. We'll count that as a win. 1-in-1, man, guys, got upgraded here at the end. I haven't tried auto drive either. Auto drive, I say, is much more complicated than courseplay to learn. Once you learn it, I think they're both very good. My biggest complaint about auto drive is the shortcut keys are not really posted anywhere. I have dug through multiple Reddit threads, multiple Steam posts to find the keyboard shortcuts and the click shortcuts for the graphic user interface to get the different types of courses. So knowing the controls is really one of the biggest challenges. Total mixed rations, 67,000 liters. The cows are going to be fed and happy tonight. Right mouse click. Yeah, I'm just too tired. That's what it is. You're right. But I think I did that, Mike. Let's see. I agree with you. All right, so control, right mouse click. So we pick park 3. You have to make sure on the top left your implement is selected, because I do have a parking spot. If you watch the park button down on the, I'll move it right here by the tractor. If you look at the park button down in the middle, when I switch to the JCB, you see how it lights up? Because the JCB already has a parking spot. So when I switch back to the Colossus, it will go there. So right click, and it should be control. Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. I agree. Something, I may need to reset my game. I'm doing shift, control, and alt, and right click, and it's definitely one of those 3 that should be setting it. So it's just not setting it. I must have just need to reset the game. Getting late, not a big deal. All right, 70,000 liters of TMR. Yes, thank you, Mike. Thank you guys for being here. Alan O. Auto drive and courseplay go well together when you learn how to use them. I agree. And just want to say thanks, VP. Always love help and advice on games. Also have a great night. Yeah, you as well. Thank you guys all for being here and hanging out. I really appreciate it. I have been enjoying the live streams a lot, and I got to tell you guys, it is because you guys are here. If I was just talking to myself, I wouldn't be here. It's really nice to have you guys in. Love answering questions, love chatting with you guys, love getting help from you guys when I can't find stuff. So really appreciate you guys being here tonight. Sorry, the right clip was for Blogstar and asked about the courseplay menu. Yep. No, that's fine. But it should be like right click and control, I think, for setting the parking, and mine's just not working. I don't know why that is. So that is where we're at. So thank you guys so much for joining tonight. Got a lot done. Couple of animal pens, got the yard set up, got our contracts collected, made the mega field despite not being able to get rid of the fences. Had some fun with courseplay, had some fun driving around. The new realistic livestock mod update, I've got a video out on that. That is looking really, really good. Just bought that spreader. Nothing set. Not sure what you mean, Nuke. Which spreader? The Colossus? Yep. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Yep, F4 trick for... Yep, that was a good one. I did not know the F4 trick. So you hit F4, takes you in here. You can see the grid for putting your fences in. That was super helpful. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to drop a like and notification. Channel memberships are available if you guys want to support my content further, but I love having you guys here. That's enough for me. Channel members do get early access to videos. All my videos are released to everybody. You never have to pay to watch a video. We release 5 videos a week, and right now we're releasing 2 Homestead Challenge videos a week, and 1 Realistic Cattle Ranch, and then 2 555 alternating, and then we do 1 555 and 2 Realistic Cattle Ranch the opposite week. So 5 videos a week, all the videos come out. So that's going to be it for tonight's stream. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you guys in the next one.